Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Jamie Maggio here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Fellas, good morning. He's in a good mood, so watch out. He was singing Hall & Oates before we started.
Hall & Oates? You?
Sarah
What's wrong
Smile.
with you?
Sarah Smile.
Hall & Oates?
Yeah,
That's so beneath you.
I grew up on that kind of stuff.
It's so far.
What you mean?
It's way before my time.
No, it's
I
not.
didn't know who Hall & Oates were.
No, it's not. You know who Hall & Oates are.
They're so white. How do you?
Yeah,
right?
they're good. Good old
They're
music.
good old white.
Yeah.
Got eclectic taste.
Yeah.
Where's your goat mask? I want to know. Today was the day to wear the goat mask for your man Aaron Rodgers because he was the goat of the game, as in lowercase goat
Only
of the game,
goat
right?
is James.
Yeah.
Goat James.
Are you off the Aaron Rodgers bandwagon?
No, I never. No. You
Well-
saw them throws last night.
He'll be off by the end of this topic.
I will not.
Do you have the goat mask nearby just in case we need it?
No, because we're not talking about Braun today.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, why don't we talk about
Yeah,
Thursday?
we are. We actually are a little later.
That's true. That's true. We are talking about LeBron James in this one. How can you not? But we are going to start with a little Thursday night football action. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were trying to keep their playoff hopes alive in Seattle last night. Rodgers started off strong, including this 54-yard touchdown pass that helped Green Bay take the lead. But Russell Wilson threw a go-ahead touchdown in the fourth to put Seattle up by 3. On the Packers' next drive, Rodgers couldn't convert on third down. Mike McCarthy decided to punt, and Green Bay never got the ball back. Seattle won 27-24. The Packers dropped to 0-5 on the road this season. Take a listen to a very testy Rodgers after the game.
Aaron, is there any hope left for this season?
Come on, Rod. What kind of question is that?
I don't know. I mean,
Come on, man.
can't win on the road. What are you going to be able to do?
I don't even know how to answer that, Rob. I mean, come on, what am I supposed to say? Of course there's hope. Of course we believe in each other. You know, just going to take one galvanizing moment. So whether that's a speech or practice or something happens in the game, something's got to get this thing going. I thought we had moments tonight where that was the way we were going. You know, the defense, a lot of injuries. Offensively, we lost Jimmy, but guys battled. So, I mean, nobody gave up hope. You know, we just didn't play well enough when we had to play well enough.
Porter saying can't win on the road. Tough questions after a game like that. But how much, I'll start with you, Shannon, how much is Rodgers to blame?
I think he's minimal to blame. I thought he had a number.
Minimal, did you say?
Hell, Skip.
Well, you said it so quietly.
No, I did not say
You were
it.
just sweeping it right under your little rug over there.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the least reason they're losing
Really?
games. Yes, he's the least of their problems. I mean, he's 21 of 30, 322 yards, 128 quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think the main culprit of why they lost, and he also punted their season on 4th and 2, was Mike McCarthy. He missed an opportunity to challenge what I believe was an incomplete pass. That is the head coach's job. They give him the red flag for a reason. He didn't challenge it on the 4th and 2. Why would you not go for it in that situation, Skip? Because the Seattle Seahawks had just gone down the field and taken the lead on you. So clearly your defense is reeling, and you mentioned it. Mike Daniels, Kenny Clark were injured. So that's even more reason not to put your defense right back on the field.
By the way, that's 4th and 2 from your 33 with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game.
If you don't
That's
mind,
what you're talking about.
If you don't mind me asking, Fearless in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Dougie P.
Yep.
It was 4th and 1.
Yep.
What did he do for it, Skip?
Well, he's fearful now.
That's what I asked you. Because he had saw New England Patriots had just gone and taken the lead.
Yep.
He knew he could not give them
Up
the ball.
against the GOAT. Thank you.
Skip.
Go.
Well, you keep
it's
on
your
talking.
turn. Keep talking.
You keep interrupting me. You won't let me. This was a clear opportunity, Skip. I just believe that Mike McCarthy, his time in Green Bay needs to come to an end. I'm not calling for his job, but I don't really know what else, I don't know if he can get anything else out of this football team. I think he's bungled it for the longest period of time by holding on to the D coordinator, who he finally let go last year. What's the D coordinator's name? Dom Capers. He finally let him go. But Rodgers, 70% completion, 11 yards per attempt. Unbelievable throws. Skip, you saw those throws that he made Adams. You saw the touchdown. Maybe one other quarterback in all of football could have made that touchdown throw, Patrick Mahomes. Because most guys, when they throw the ball like that, they need to clear, get some space. They pull up. Aaron Rodgers threw that ball 54 yards. He didn't break a stride, and he put it on the money. So I thought Aaron Rodgers played unbelievable last night. He missed a throw. But Mike McCarthy, why would you, even if they call it completion, why would you not challenge it, Skip Bayless? Why would you not challenge that? Why would you not go for it on fourth down? And, you know, I read his tweets, Jamie. I mean, I wish Tom Brady. The touchdown catch.
You read my tweets? You don't follow me.
Yeah, people forward them to me, but that's not here to go. How I get them is unimportant. I don't go to the mail. They bring the mail to me. Somebody brought it to me.
Okay.
But anyway, the touchdown, the tight end.
By the way, the tweet was, if only Tom Brady had this group of receivers and this running back, Aaron Jones, who's a stud. Go.
He's better than Sonny Michel?
He can catch it,
Is he better than Sonny Michel?
Well,
I don't think so.
When Sonny Michel is actually healthy, which hasn't been very often. But go ahead.
That tight end, he's a fourth stringer, and that was his first catch of his NFL career. Rookie wide receivers, fifth, sixth round picks. Now, Devontae Adams.
Do you know what studs they're going to be? 6'5" and 6'4"?
See,
Are you kidding
You're talking about what
me?
they're going to be. I'm just telling you what they are. They're rookie, and they were drafted in the fifth and sixth rounds. Now, Devontae Adams is going to be special.
He's top 10.
Yeah, but Skip, prior to this year, he had yet to have a 1,000-yard receiver, right?
I don't know. Every time I look up, he's catching another big pass.
Oh, and who's throwing it to him? Put it right on.
Making Aaron Rodgers
Don't
look
do that,
better
Skip.
and better.
Skip, don't do that. The question was, who's at blame? I'm going to put the lion's share of the blame at the feet of Mike McCarthy because I believe he should have challenged that. I believe he should have gone for it on 4th and 2, and I think he's let this season get away from him. And it's Skip, it's time to move on. It's okay. You had a great run. But it's okay because I feel that you're letting Aaron Rodgers, because this team defensively, they're not very good. And there's another reason. He said, well, you know, Mike Daniels and Clark, you know, had suffered injuries. That's even more reason not to put them back on the field until you absolutely have to. And preferably it was going to be with a tie game or a lead because Aaron Rodgers is going to go down and get you a touchdown. So if I'm going to place blame or I'm going to give the lion's share of the blame to someone, Mike McCarthy, I'm sorry, you got to wear that hat today.
So, once again, the quote-unquote GOAT, as in Aaron Rodgers, needs a scapegoat. And it's clear the scapegoat is about to be the head coach because now that they've fallen to 4-5-1, Mike McCarthy is not going to survive this. And I'm going to guess, maybe predict, that Mike McCarthy winds up reunited with John Dorsey in Cleveland as the next coach of Baker Mayfield because they obviously, John Dorsey and Mike McCarthy, worked together for 7 years when John Dorsey was director of college scouting and football operations for the Packers. So they are closely aligned and linked, and I'm pretty sure Mike McCarthy is going to have a change of scenery with Baker Mayfield, and he'll have a real quarterback. I'm just kidding.
I promise you Aaron Rodgers will not be upset if that were to.
I think you are exactly right about that. So, who deserves the bulk of the blame? As you say, the lion's share, the Detroit lion's share of the blame. It's the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. And I don't know why we keep overprotecting him, why we continue to apologize for him and give him passes.
You do it every week for Tom Brady.
I don't do it at all. I just tell you the truth about what Tom Brady. By the way, just 2 weeks ago, Tom Brady beat Aaron Rodgers head-to-head.
What did he do last week?
Well, what has Aaron Rodgers done on the road? Because I see 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 4, 5 losses on the road. They're 0-5 on the road. And what happened last night? This was vintage, classic Aaron Rodgers because in the second half, because they led at halftime, as you know, here's what Aaron Rodgers' offense did in the second half. And the last time I checked, he is the quarterback, so the quarterback deserves the bulk of the blame.
I'm glad you said that. Remember that.
Here's what the deal was in the second half for Green Bay. They go punt, 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 field goal, punt. Interesting. So Aaron Rodgers managed to go 2 of 7 on third down in the second half and score a grand total of 3 points.
I want you to do that again. I want you to say, okay, in the second half, I want you to give me those possessions again. What did, okay.
Punt, 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 field goal, which should have been a touchdown, punt. So 4 out of 5 and didn't cash the one big play after, the big 57-yarder to Devontae.
I throw it off his back foot.
Early in the fourth quarter. By the way, real quick, can we see that play? No, we're not there yet. That was a classic Aaron Rodgers throwaway because he's breaking his own record for throwaway. Here, this is to Devontae. And by the way, the problem with that pass is back foot, if he'd thrown it a yard farther, we might be having a different conversation. That should have been 7 points, and it became only 3 points.
Why Brady doesn't have any of those?
Okay, we're not talking about Tom Brady. We're talking about the guy that Tom Brady beat, Aaron Rodgers. So he backfoots this one, and it's a whip, and he got hit in the face just as he's throwing.
What you mean throwing a yard farther?
You got to throw it a yard farther because he's got a step. He's gone on Shaq Griffin. Shaq Griffin almost broke it up.
Actually,
he caught up. And
there should have been a PI because
okay.
you see he grabbed his arm before the ball
But
got
if it had been thrown a yard farther, it wouldn't have been either of the options that you just gave it because it would have been a touchdown.
But guess what happens? He throws it a yard farther. Devontae Adams doesn't catch the ball. You go like the great Aaron Rodgers, you got to make that throw. I know you, Skip Bayless.
So this was classic Aaron Rodgers night because he did make 3 throws in this game that were Aaron Rodgers specials. They were dude perfect trick shot passes. You know, dude perfect? You know those?
Just stop.
They're just dude perfect. They're almost like CGI, like somebody like in
I know.
And
Super fun to watch.
There's no one in the history of the universe who could make that throw to the 3rd string tight end. What's his name? Robert Tonyan. By the way, from Indiana State, Larry Bird School.
Yep.
Who knew they even had played football?
Exactly.
And he was undrafted, and Aaron Rodgers wings it to him, and it puts them up 14-3. Nobody in the history of the world could make a throw like that.
Very few.
And yet, in the end, you know what it's like? It's to me like all the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movies, and I've seen every one of them, and they're okay to me, but they're always 4 or 5 sensational stunts in the movie, and the last one just outdid it. Like, how do you top this? And then I walk out of the theater and I think, yeah, it was okay. And then I forget it an hour later.
Then you realize you get home and like, I'm a hater. You walk past me and like, you know what? I'm a hater of Tom Cruise.
I'm not a hater, but Aaron Rodgers is Tom Cruise. He's pretty boy. He pulls off 3 or 4 stunt passes where you say, how did they do that? Hollywood, only in Hollywood could you pull that off. And then in the end, you're mildly disappointed. In this case, I'm hugely disappointed because that was his 4th straight loss at Seattle. I don't know if it's his own house of horrors, but he stunk it up again in the second half.
But there's a reason, Skip Bayless. You remember, Vegas said they were a 2.5-point underdog because the Vegas is not evaluating the quarterback; they're evaluating the football team, and they haven't been very good on the road. Seattle has been good at home. They don't stop the run. What can Seattle do? They're the number 1 rushing team. They're also, you mentioned yesterday, no Richard Sherman, no Cam Chancellor, no Earl Thomas, no Cliff Averill. All the guys are not there. All I did was tell you they still have a top 10 pass defense. They still top 10 in points allowed. But you didn't want to hear that.
Okay.
You just look at Aaron.
We are talking about the man you have called the GOAT.
Okay, then
right?
Why didn't Tom Brady beat Detroit?
We're not talking about Tom Brady. So let's see what happened here. And I'm going to give you this. Mike McCarthy should have challenged the 34-yarder to Lockett.
Okay, so what are we talking about? It's over now.
No, it's not over because that would have made it, if you challenge and you win, it's 2nd and 10 from the 50. So Russell Wilson still got a chance to go score, and maybe he would have. Maybe it would have been a field goal. I don't know. But the point is, Mike should have challenged that one. I'm not sure it would have been overturned, but our guy Mike Pereira said, yes, it would have been overturned.
I'm sure it would.
And I'm going with Mike on that one.
Yes.
Okay, so still, the ball returns to Aaron Rodgers' hands with 5:08 left in this game. They get it 1st and 10 at their 25. Down 3. Is that not Aaron Rodgers' time? Is that not GOAT time?
Yes.
Because I can tell you what time it'd be up in Foxborough. It would be Tom Brady time.
It was 14 points time.
How many times have we seen Tom Brady in the 4th quarter just take over Super Bowls or AFC Championship games?
You don't get to do that.
Yeah,
you don't get to say in Foxborough because Aaron Rodgers was not in Green Bay.
Okay, name it on a neutral
Detroit.
stage. Neutral
Detroit.
stage. Oh, stop it.
Jacksonville.
Are these Super Bowls?
Tennessee. Oh, now it's Super Bowl. See, you see how you changed it on me? Just told me.
How about the Super Bowl at Phoenix? How about the Super Bowl
at
in
Atlanta?
Minnesota? How about the Super Bowl in Minnesota? Yeah, you only threw for 505.
They lost.
Game and
the
lit
Super
up
Bowl in Arizona. The Super Bowl in Indy.
5:08 left in this game. Is this not? And it's Thursday Night Football on Fox. This is Aaron Rodgers' moment. And guess what I saw? I saw he misfired to Equanimous, and then I saw him hit Valdez Scantling. These are the 2 stud rookies that you said are who knows, like they're going to be stars. So he hits him for 8. Now it's 3rd and 2 at the 33. And what happens? Could we see this play? This is the GOAT, man. This is the clutch play. He throws it in the dirt. As Aaron said, it stuck to my hand and I threw it in the dirt. Yeah. He said, I can make that throw 1,000 times. Yeah. Well, he didn't make it the one time when the pressure was on.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
That was a bad misfire because now it's 4th and 2.
Exactly.
And now his coach is a little shaky because my quarterback has done nothing in the second half. We have managed 3 points in the second half. And the coach is saying, you know what? I'm just going to punt and close my eyes and hope my defense can get the ball back one more time.
I was still given the fact that he hasn't done it and the offense didn't do a whole lot in the second half. I still trust Aaron Rodgers more than I trust the defense. But you know, Skip, in any comeback, there's going to be a time, even in Tom Brady's comeback, he had to go for it occasionally on 4th down. So just to say, he just went first, second, third, got it. First, second, third, got it. First, second, third, got it. First, second, third, touchdown. No, that's not the case. You know that. I know that. Everybody at home knows that. That's what they have a 4th down for, that gives you an opportunity to go for it. Mike McCarthy should have gone for it. Who do you trust more? Your defense with all those injuries, as Mike McCarthy alluded to at his press conference, or do you trust Aaron Rodgers? Given though he had just grounded one on 3rd and 2, I still trust Aaron Rodgers more than I trust that defense.
Who, by the way, by his standards, Aaron Rodgers is having a miserable year this year. It's just miserable.
19-1, Jamie.
He's 21st in QBR.
19-1, Jamie.
He's 21st. 19-1. And by the way, Jamie, he is going to shatter his own all-time record for throwing the football away while he's still 7th. Maybe after last night, it'd probably move up to 6th. I haven't checked this morning, but 6th in sack rate.
Yeah.
So it's not that he's throwing the football away to avoid sacks. He's throwing it away to protect his stats. Oh, if that's dicey, I'm not even going to try that.
Well, here's the thing, Skip Bayless. If my defense isn't very good, why would I give up a pick 6? Why would I put them in further harm's way? But why you talking?
Maybe like Tom Brady, you need to overcome your lousy defense by making throws, by trying things that are a little risky and pulling them off the way Tom Brady does.
Well, he had 3 opportunities on the road this year.
You saw that throw to Julian Edelman that I showed you, hit him in the face mask. You said, you can't make that throw. It's covered. It hit him in the face mask.
First of all, let's be 100% real. The game wasn't even supposed to be this close. If Russell Wilson didn't play this bad in the first half, the game's not close.
Wait a second. On the very first play of the whole football game, Chris Carson just fumbles the ball right to Green Bay, right? And just gives Aaron Rodgers an easy – it wasn't Aaron Rodgers. It was actually Aaron Jones who got the easy first touchdown. Yeah. So the real Aaron in Green Bay seems to be the running back more than the quarterback.
Don't do that.
Right? I think he's really –
Don't do that.
He is rolling now, and he can catch it as well as he runs
it. He was rolling. 11 carries for 40 yards. Wow.
Well, that's not many carries, actually.
Well, considering that
look at the receiving totals.
You lost the time of possession battle by over 8.5 minutes. And that's what you told me, Skip. You said when the quarterback doesn't have the ball, there's a great chance his team's going to lose.
You know why that was, Jamie? It was because Aaron Rodgers went 3 for 11 on 3rd down. Tom Brady doesn't go 3 for 11 on 3rd down. Sorry. 3 for 11?
You're misspeaking. Because as a matter of fact, last week he was 3 of 15 on 3rd down. Yeah. Jamie, how you want to do this, Skip Bayless? I got tremendous. I've been waiting on you all day. You keep telling me Aaron Rodgers can't win a game on the road. Yeah. But where did New England play Detroit? Where did they play Jacksonville, and where did they play Tennessee?
We're not talking about Tom Brady.
You just brought him up. You just said he threw for the most yards in playoffs.
All right, well, wait a second. Do we really want to bring Tom Brady into this?
You brought him in.
Wait a second. Aaron Rodgers won 1 Super Bowl 9 years ago. That's it. Period. End of story. Okay. Since then, he's 5-6 in the postseason, including a disastrous start at Seattle in the NFC Championship game, in which the Green Bay columnist or Milwaukee columnist ripped him for that game and said it was by far his worst playoff performance. So wait a second, 5-6, and your 5 victories come against Joe Webb and Kirk Cousins, and because of the Dez catch that wasn't a catch, and the Giants boat trip game, and then Mason Crossbar making field goals from 56 and 51 yards at Dallas? Really? That's all you got? Those are your 5?
No, all I'm saying,
really?
Skip.
You really want to compare Brady? You want me to start in on Brady's 4th quarters in the Super Bowl?
No, Skip. All I'm saying is that you make concessions for Tom Brady when Gostkowski, when Adam Vinatieri cooked game-winning field goals that you never make for Aaron Rodgers when his field goal kicker.
This is just your basic Thursday night game that is in his lap. They put it in his lap with 5:08 left. Here, Aaron, it's your time to shine.
Well, leave it in his lap and go for it on fourth down.
Okay, but what about third down? Because that's when you got to go for it.
I just want to make sure. So Tom Brady has never had to go for it on fourth down to keep a drive alive.
He's never thrown a pass that bad on 3rd and 2, I will bet you.
Wes Welker says bull jive.
Oh, please.
Wes Welker says bull jive in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That ball should have been caught.
What about that pick six that he threw against Atlanta? How bad a throw was that?
And what about the 246 yards he threw for in the fourth quarter in overtime to bring them back from 28 to 3? You can't beat me. You can't. You got no shot here. You should stop.
No, all I'm saying is that the concessions that you're making for one, you have to at least make those same concessions for the other guy. I'm not saying that
the other guy doesn't belong in this conversation because the other guy is 4-5-1. You know what? Is it time for Aaron to quit, retire? Because he looks washed up to me. Because that's what you said yesterday about Tom Brady.
I didn't say that.
Tom Brady is 7-3.
They said overcooked fettuccine. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I just
Tom Brady
on
is 7-3 with no running game, no defense, not half the receivers that Aaron Rodgers has. Aaron Rodgers is 4-5-1. Aaron Rodgers has won 0 road games, and now Aaron Rodgers still has to go to Minnesota and to Chicago. You like that? Says Kirk Cousins.
Hold on.
You like it?
I'm just asking you a question. How can you say they have no running game when they have Sonny Michel, who has 2 games over 100 and 2 games in the 90s of rushing?
Yeah, he's only played 2 games.
No, don't do that, Skip.
Well, I'm serious. He came in with a knee injury out of the preseason.
He did.
Okay.
And when he came back,
they've been using their kick returner as their primary running back.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. But you make it seem like that Tom Brady has always had a power running game. And with the exception of Corey Dillon, they've really never had a running game, a true in the sense what we think of running game Tom Brady. They run the football. They put the ball in his hand and they ask him to complete a lot of short passes, which is their running game, and then he'll throw the ball over your head occasionally. But Skip, you know how Tom Brady plays this.
I'll take Aaron Jones over Sonny Michel any day.
You must be out your mind.
What are you? Have you watched this guy?
Yeah,
I watched him at Dallas last year. Just run me out of the building.
That's not saying much.
Well, it's saying a lot.
That's not saying much.
On that day.
Making it personal now.
Yeah, Skip. All I'm saying is, look. There's one throw that Aaron Rodgers, and I think when you go back and you look at tape, there are games that you win, there are games that you lose, and you're like, man, I'd like to have that route back, or I'd like to have this throw back, or a defensive coordinator, I'd like to have that call back, but you can't get it back. But when I look at this game, I think you and I both agree. We might not disagree on Aaron Rodgers and how good he is, or how good the offense, or how bad the defense is. But there's no question. We don't disagree that Mike McCarthy should have challenged that. Well, I don't think we disagree that Mike McCarthy should have gone for it on fourth down.
What we agree on, I think, is he's gone.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy's done.
Yeah.
At 4-5-1, unless they have a miraculous comeback, which
Maybe.
I don't think they will.
And even if they do, he's still gone. It might be 3 or 4 years too late.
Yeah.
Wasted Aaron Rodgers.
Wasted him 9 years ago since that long.
You know what, Skip?
9 years.
In other words, so you said Aaron Rodgers has been a waste for the last 9 years.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what you're trying to tell me.
I don't know how Tom Brady came into this, but Tom Brady up here, Aaron Rodgers.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Jamie.
come on,
Sorry,
do that.
but I would have gone for it on
Do
4th
it.
and 2.
Exactly.
100%.
Maybe
100%.
Mike McCarthy's just lost all faith in Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe he's lost his fastball, huh?
Yeah.
Like somebody
Can't
else
let
we
it
know.
die.
Somebody else lost their fastball.
The head coach of the Patriots
Don't do
definitely
that.
has.
Don't do that, Skip. That's the GOAT. Old GOAT Belichick.
You don't have the goat mask. We can't talk about the goat.
You know what? I might wear me a sweatshirt to cup the sleeves off it, get the GOAT mask.
You should do that. Yeah, that would be funny.
All right, guys. Next up to the Warriors feud lead to the Warriors' loss last night. We'll discuss that one next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. More of the Undisputed podcast is on the way, but first I wanted to tell you guys about Quip. One of the most important things we do for our health every day is brushing our teeth, yet most of us don't do it properly. Luckily, there's Quip, a better electric toothbrush backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. What makes Quip the ideal option? Quip toothbrushes use sonic vibrations that are gentle enough for sensitive gums and even sensitive teeth. They come with a built-in 2-minute timer that pulses every 30 seconds to remind you when it's time to switch sides. It's perfect for me. Plus, for just $5, you can get new brush heads automatically delivered every 3 months, just like the dentist recommends, with a variety of slick colors, including my personal favorite, silver metal. Quip has something for everyone. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/undisputed right now, you get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/undisputed. Now, back to the show and get brushing.
No mercy.
Well, Draymond Green was back in the Warriors lineup last night against the Rockets after being suspended earlier this week. He got off to a good start, finding Kevin Durant on the break for an easy dunk, but after that, it was all Rockets. The Warriors lost by 21, and KD scored 20 points, but Draymond had 0. Steve Kerr said the team is banged up, quote, physically and spiritually. Here's KD and Draymond on the aftermath of their dramatic week.
We didn't play our best game. It happens. If those emotions are what caused us to lose, then it's my bad, but we're not panicking or think like, oh man, we're not a great team. We're still the best team in the league, and we're going to win more games and a bunch of games and go win another championship, and we'll be fine.
How do you characterize how things are with you and Draymond?
Don't ask me about that again.
Don't ask him about it. But we're going to talk about it a little bit.
Don't ask him.
The Warriors are still the best team in the West, 12-4, despite that. But do you think that this Draymond Durant feud had an effect on the team's success last night, or lack of? I
don't, because we've seen in the past last year, Skip. They lost to Utah by 40. They lost to Utah by 30. They just lost last week to Milwaukee at home by 20 plus. And there was no feud. There was nothing going on. Now, it is an elephant in the room. Everybody's going to talk about it. It wants to be addressed. I give you a similar situation, Skip. You remember last year? There was another guy going through this very thing, but there was no one in that locker room that would have ever stepped to him and challenged him like Draymond did KD, and that was LeBron. LeBron was in the very same situation, Skip. Everybody wanted to know with LeBron, and he said, look, I'm going to play this season. I'm going to see what happens. KD said the same thing. KD said, I'm going to play this season. We'll see what happens. But everybody, and I'm sure, as he says, I understand that you guys have a job to do, and everybody wants to be the one that asks the question that KD says, I'm going or I'm staying.
Sure.
Draymond's like basically from what he's been, I guess from KD's body language and from things he's been hearing, KD got 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and it was a problem.
Yep.
I don't think Draymond should have overreacted with, KD was like, bruh, why didn't you give me the ball? Draymond, bro, I was making plays for you. Got here, I won for you. Got here, yada, yada, yada. So that was building up. But Skip, I don't really think the way they played last night has anything to do with what happened 2 nights ago. I think the thing is, like you say so much, and it's November. It's November. It's hard to get up 82 times a year. You're on the road, you're in Milwaukee, you're this place, you're that place, and play with the same intensity and fervor. No matter what the sport is, it's hard. Even if you play football, Skip, it's only 16 games. It's hard to be at your apex all 16 of those games. Can you imagine 82 of those? Can you, a baseball player, every game, pitcher has his best stuff, a batter has his best swing. No, it doesn't happen like that. But I think the thing is, look, they'll get past this. I agree with Draymond. They'll get past this. It's going to take some time. There's still some lingering going on. You can tell by KD's answer. It's not over. Yep. Because he wouldn't have lashed out the way. Don't ask him. Don't ask him again, Skip. But I don't think what transpired 2 days ago had an effect on why they played so bad last night.
I can't tell you how much I disagree. And I watched every dribble of this game opposite, obviously, a good bit of the football game, but the Warriors looked like a troubled basketball team last night. And I told you yesterday at the end of the show, I thought it would be a little awkward for those two to be back on the court, maybe a little under the surface icy between those two. And I believe it drained the energy out of the whole basketball team. And obviously they're without Steph Curry, so that's a big asterisk to put on this one. And meanwhile, on the other end of the floor, you got the Houston Rockets, who looked like they were finally unclogged last night without Melo. It looked like they were finally free on offense, psychologically and physically free of Melo, where they just let it flow. And they looked like a different basketball team, maybe not on defense because they're going to have defensive issues, but they didn't last night because the Warriors couldn't buy anything. They lost their flow, they lost their rhythm. And it's like Draymond's looking to Kevin, who's looking to Draymond, like, are you going to give me the ball or not? There was that one moment when it looked like they had kind of a quote-unquote nice moment. It was 8:21 left in the third quarter, if we could see this one. That's a miss there, a lot of misses. 8:21 of the third quarter, Draymond got the ball and dribbled up the floor. Here we go. And he's dribbling, and he picks up the ball, and he double dribbles. What are you doing? Well, he's just completely out of whack and out of sync because he knows that Kevin is also running the floor, and Kevin went to him with a hint of a smile on his face and slapped him on the chest, but he was also nicely chiding him for the very same sort of play that sparked the original confrontation at the end of the Clippers game at Staples in regulation, right? Because Kevin just wanted the basketball. He wanted to be able to take the last shot, and Draymond denied him of that last shot. So I'm not sure that was all that nice, that little give and take between the two there. So I'm going to stand by what I've been saying. I think this team needs to trade Draymond Green sooner than later. And do I think they can sort of form this uneasy truce between the two of them, that they can barely peacefully coexist? I think they can, especially when Steph comes back. But let them lose a couple. Let Kevin have an off shooting night, and this will bubble and boil right back to the surface. Night. Well, he did. He did. You're exactly right. But he was all they had last night.
But if you think about it, Skip, the Houston Rockets shot poor from the field, the 2-point range, then Golden State did. They were just 16 of 47 from the 3-point line. Golden State turned the ball over 16 times. The Rockets turned it over 5 times. Here, now you lose possessions. The other team gets possessions, and they're probably getting up 3s. But, Skip, the thing is that the only difference between what was going on in that locker room and what we thought is that Draymond made Kevin Durant's free agency. He made it public. We knew about it, and a lot of times we don't think they're talking about it. But there are a lot of times, guys are free agent, and you're like, okay, well, I'm thinking to myself, what are he going to do? Is he going, they're going to re-sign him, or he going to, test the market? Draymond made it public.
He did. And by the way, to your point, Yahoo's now reporting that the exchange on the bench at the end of regulation included Draymond saying to Kevin, "We don't need you. We won without you. Leave."
Whoa!
All right. Well, that's, did he speak his heart? Did he reveal the truth of what he really believes?
Yeah.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
And so the B word was bad enough. I said that's burnt. The bridge is burned on the B word alone. But this is double burned. This is, you can't come back from this. Yeah. You can't fix it. You can't apologize your way out of it. And by the way, all of Draymond's quotes yesterday at the shoot-around, they weren't apologetic.
No. And the thing is, Skip, he said, I'm an emotional player. I know that everybody knows that. I'm not going to change. You don't have to change your being emotional, but you better change how you talk to people.
Because he's basically saying, I am who I am. Right. I can't help it. And by the way, he's also making the point that my emotions were a big reason we won before Kevin came, right?
And that's why. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah. Oh, no. So that's what I want to ask you is because you've got this group together that's been so successful for such a long time, and you would actually trade away Draymond and keep KD even though he's likely going to leave in free agency?
I would hope that I could talk him into staying just for next year to go to the new building across the bridge in San Francisco. But more important, I would want to save this season. This season is teetering right now. And the other X factor is DeMarcus Cousins' Achilles. Will it come back 100%? Because if it does, he could do a lot of the Draymond things. And I think they could be at least as good with DeMarcus, one of the best big men, if not the best, and one of the best big man passers that we have in basketball.
He can do everything Draymond can do offensively. On steroids. Yeah. He can score better. He can rebound better. The guy had a 40-20 game. The guys have several 20-20 games.
As long as the Achilles for a 7-footer bounces back, I know.
Exactly. But, Skip, here's the thing. Listen, what Draymond said just didn't occur in that moment. This has been on Draymond's mind, Skip. This was the opportunity for him to get it out. He would have never gone to Kevin Durant in a calm moment and said what he said. Anger allows you to get things out, and you can say, I was angry. Or just like when you're intoxicated, well, I was under the influence. No, you get an opportunity to speak your truth.
Was that truth serum?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I just think they'll figure it out. They'll get it done. Draymond revealed how he really felt. And this is why, Skip, a lot of people will never give Kevin Durant the credit he deserves. is because they said what Draymond allegedly said to him on the sideline. Bro, we won before you got here. We were 79-3. We set the all-time record before you got here. We had a 2-time league MVP before you got here. So we know you great, but don't get it twisted. We won before you, bro.
Correct. And the other quote yesterday at the shoot-around from Draymond, what you must know is nobody in this organization, from a player, not myself, not from Kevin, not anybody else, nobody is going to beat us. Well, he's still saying that the group is bigger than any one person.
Yes.
So he's basically reiterating, Kevin, we really don't need you either. You know, like if you have to leave, you should go ahead and leave and we'll be just fine.
Because Kevin, remember last year, Skip, they were talking about, Kevin's playing too much isolation and he needs to pass the ball. But when they get into the playoffs and they get into that crunch game, they're not passing that ball. What they do? Whether it's Clay, whether it's Draymond, whether it's Steph Curry, who bringing the ball up in the game threes? In those game threes, when they needed it late in the ball game, who was bringing the ball up the court, Skip?
You know who.
Exactly.
The best player on the planet.
Draymond, here's the thing.
You let me get away with that.
I'll let you get away with it because he was. Yeah. Draymond had no problem in that moment handing the ball over to KD.
Yep.
Steph Curry would hand the ball off to KD. Now all of a sudden, you make plays. You've been making plays before KD got there. KD said you on your best night.
On your best night.
Never be able to do what I can do.
I think there's more to it than just Kevin Durant's free agency. There's more to this beef. There's some deep stuff there.
You should be throwing a parade over there because this is nothing but great for LeBron James.
I'm not like that, Skip. Because what's going to happen, going to happen.
You're not going to gloat over somebody else's demise?
No. I'm not like you. Because you quick to do it.
Me?
Yep.
You?
Jabs.
Yes.
You? That's all you ever do on this show.
What did I go gloat about, Skip?
What do you goat about, right?
Yeah, well,
that's a better.
Well, you forced me into that position, Skip. You think I wanted to be this person?
Hey, all of a sudden, to me, the West is starting to open up.
What you mean?
I don't know.
That's what happens when
Wild West.
When Moses comes. Moses with his part.
Yeah.
We gonna fall right to that second seed. Yeah. We'd be second or third.
God sent down the 10 Commandments to him on the tablets, right?
December 30th. Did you know that?
1984.
It was a Sunday.
And it was immaculate. Go ahead.
I think
4 p.m. in the afternoon. I remember just like yesterday.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm
it
sure
was all on the news.
You, like a wise man, you went. You saw the star.
It was on the news. Right? I was like, why they interrupted my normally scheduled program? Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
I must have been watching TV.
Oh, yeah.
You're watching
big moment.
I was watching a game.
Yeah.
No mercy.
The Cowboys are a 3.5-point underdog on the road in Atlanta Sunday. That's on Fox. Dallas is coming off an impressive win last week against the Eagles, but they have some bad history with the Falcons. Last season, Dak Prescott was sacked 8 times in a blowout loss in Atlanta. Shannon, we'll start with you. Who wins on Sunday?
I don't know why I'm making this pick because everything tells me the analytics and the numbers say the Falcons should lose this ball game.
Really?
But I'm going to
Good. Keep talking.
No, I'm going to take the Falcons because if you look at the numbers, Skip, offensively, Matt Ryan is playing at an MVP level. He's playing better, equal to, if not better than the year that he won the MVP. All of a sudden, they found a way to get Julio Jones. He's getting the ball into the end zone.
Yep.
I think what happened last week, the Falcons overestimated how good they were and how good they were playing while underestimating. They're looking at the Browns. Man, they ain't won but a handful of games. Oh, we got them. And the next thing you know, they're getting there and the Browns get a touchdown. They start feeling good about themselves. And now you got a dogfight in your hands. They know the Cowboys are more than capable of beating them. So I believe they'll be on their best behavior. But I'm sure Zeke is like, man, Nick Chubb went for $170 on y'all? With that offensive line, I think our offensive line better. Yep. I know I'm better than Nick Chubb, so he's chomping at the bit.
He is.
The Falcons are a big play, quick strike offense. But I think maybe the key to their success, they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to limit the Cowboys' offense. And who'd ever thought I would say limit the Cowboys' offense when they're 24th in scoring and 27th in total offense. But the Cowboys can run you out of the building with Zeke and make Matt Ryan and that high-powered offense, null and void. You get the ball, you start having the ball 33, 35, 37 minutes, Now Matt Ryan is going to be in a situation where, okay, I see my defense struggling. I'm going to have to take more chances, put the ball in harm's way. Now, it helps that they get a Pro Bowl linebacker and Deion Jones back. That's a big
deal.
That's a big addition
He
for
is
them.
the driving force of that defense.
If I'm the Falcons, I'm hell-bent on getting the Cowboys to 3rd and long and take Zeke out of the equation. And the way you take Zeke out of the equation on 3rd down, Skip, is that you can't let him go for 5. You can't let it be 3rd and 3. You can't let it be that, because now they can run Zeke, they can throw the ball, they can also get Dak into the zone read, which I know you love. So for the Falcons to win this game, they're going to have to put Cowboys behind the 8 ball. Put the ball in Dak Prescott's hand. And I'm not talking about when Zeke's running for 150, 170 yards, nothing like that. Make him throw for 325. And if he does that, you walk to the center of the field at the end of the game and say, son, that was a heck of a game, and you move on. I don't think he's capable of doing it.
Dak Prescott, I hope you're watching right now, because Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Fame tight end, has called you out once more on Undisputed, ridiculing your ability to throw the football. Thank you.
How did I ridicule?
Thank you. He called you a bust before. Now he's slightly moonwalking the bust. He's saying he's just below average. But Dak,
what does the number say, Skip?
Heart.
What does QBR say? What does QBR say?
Last Sunday night at Philadelphia, it said 27-20 Dallas. That's what it said.
Oh, so that's what it said. But so Zeke didn't have anything to do with that, huh?
He had some to do with
the
it.
tackling Dutchman.
Dak was
who
extraordinary.
was Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC? The tackling Dutchman.
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, now
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. I was all out the day after the draft.
You sure were.
So, like you, because I've thought this for several weeks before this, I believe my Dallas Cowboys will lose at Atlanta. I also fervently believe my Dallas Cowboys are going to win the NFC East by winning 5 of their last 6 games to finish 9-7, to your Eagles 8-8 and Washington's 8-8. And I stand by that. But I do not love this Sunday at Atlanta, because I don't love it that Atlanta lost to Baker Mayfield. I don't love that. I would like my chances more if they had just taken care of business at Cleveland. Now they're a desperate 4-5 team back on their turf and their building. And I haven't gotten over what happened 1 year ago last Sunday at Atlanta. It was a debacle. It was a nightmare. It was an all-time disaster, and I wasn't ready for it, but Zeke got suspended. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Ty Smith could not go, and Chaz Green had to sub for him at left tackle. And Sean Lee got hurt early in the game, and the defense didn't have its driving force, and nightmares occurred because Dak went down 8 times, thanks in large part to Chaz Green, who now, God bless him, you realize he's a New Orleans Saint, so maybe his life has changed. Maybe he's Super Bowl bound now.
Well, considering Drew Brees has only been sacked 9 times, he's not playing.
I don't think he's playing.
Exactly. There you go.
He's on reserve there, and they better hope that he stays on reserve, because that was a disaster. It was Atlanta 27-7. So I'm back to, it scares me, because the biggest change that I saw in my Cowboys on Sunday night at Philadelphia was Xavier Su'a-Filo. He was the new left guard in place of the young man, the kid, the rookie, Connor Williams, that I keep saying he's a disaster at left guard. He is the weak link. Every time I look up, he's getting beaten inside. And all of a sudden, I looked up Sunday night, and I didn't even hear the name of the left guard the whole night, because you didn't either, because he was good. And now Connor Williams is back practicing, and I think he's... Yeah, I know.
He needs to play.
But I told you, Hudson Houck is the greatest offensive line coach I was ever around, and he just came out of retirement now 3 weeks ago, and I think he's starting to have impact on this offensive line just the way the second greatest offensive line coach I was ever around, Bill Callahan, is doing. He's working minor miracles in Washington right now as their offensive line coach. But Hudson Houck having impact. And yet, I step back from this and I say, what evidence do I have that my Cowboys can win 2 in a row? Because they haven't all year. Well, I saw potential greatness at Philly. I'm just not sure they can carry it on to Atlanta. But I did see Jason Garrett call a fake punt on 4th and 2 from the 31. Way to go, Jason. Yeah. I saw Scott Linehan finally, out of probably job-saving desperation, pull his head out and call an inspired game. And I saw that Amari Cooper, just on not only performance but on presence, I saw him start to open everything up for Cole Beasley and Michael Gallup, and all of a sudden Alan Hearns. And I saw Zeke start to actually play his way into better shape. He started looking at the end of the game like he had some stamina left in him. And I saw a Dak Prescott that was vintage 2016 or the first half of 2017. I saw him bounce back to that level of performance.
I didn't see that, but okay.
And my defense, I saw Jalen Smith, and I saw the tackling Dutchman flying all around and bedeviling Carson Wince. And yet, I look at my defense. What's the fatal flaw of my defense? They are allowing the 29th worst third down conversions in the league. And I don't get that because Mariota went 11 for 14 on third down.
Atlanta's the second ranked third down.
They're 31st, so it's 29th to 31st.
No, I'm saying Atlanta's offense.
Oh, okay, they convert.
Right.
Okay,
right.
That's why this scares me. That's why I'm going Atlanta 30-24 because I think on that turf with that group of wideouts, that Matt Ryan's going to put up 30. Doesn't he always put up 30 or more?
Especially at home. They're tough to beat at home. But that should be concerning to the Atlanta is because if you're 31st in third down, allowing third downs, that means the Cowboys with their running up, and they found something, Skip. I think Zeke, I would be shocked if Zeke doesn't have, especially now, if they fall behind, obviously you try to eliminate the running game, and that's what the Falcons are going to try and do. But if this game can remain close, I can see Zeke having somewhere between 25 and 30 carries and being upwards of 150 to 200 yards rushing.
Okay. So last Sunday night was a must-win for my team. This is not a must-win. Obviously not a division game, and with 3 of the next 4 at home, and the last 3 are very winnable for my Cowboys. They got the easiest closing schedule. I'll be okay on Monday if they lose at Atlanta. Obviously, I hope they win. I hope for some of the reasons you point out, maybe they can win time of possession and somehow steal this game. But I haven't recovered from a year ago, and it just feels wrong to me.
If he hasn't recovered from a year ago, player perspective, has Dak recovered from a year ago? Does something like that haunt you and stay with you?
I don't know. You tell me that Wentz.
You asked the wrong guy.
Recovered from last year. Yeah. I don't think he recovered from last year.
The year before.
The playoffs.
He didn't recover from Mississippi State at Alabama, Tuscaloosa, right?
So
Never recovered.
You hate when guys don't, the big moments, the big stage. That's what I love Baker. That's why I love Deshaun. The big moments against Alabama.
Mm-hmm. What were they, like 21-point underdogs?
Johnny Manziel did it.
Yeah, he did.
Chad Kelly.
Yeah, he lit him up twice in a row.
Yeah, and Chad, he knocked on he went in the house and sat out on the couch.
He put 40 on him, didn't he, twice in a row?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I told you he was the future of your Broncos until he had an unfortunate incident.
Well, you just can't go in somebody's house and sit down and just start carrying a conversation.
I think Mr. Elway's going to say that's enough of that.
Well, he
right?
did say that was enough of that.
Okay.
You can't go sit on someone's couch at 1 o'clock in the morning and start carrying on the conversation.
Dak, are you listening? You just got called out.
Who called him out? Who called him out?
You.
What did I say?
What didn't you say?
All I said is
big
that
moments.
If
he crumbles.
If I'm a D coordinator, I want the ball in his hands.
Yep.
And if he throws for 320 and 3 touchdowns, you walk and you shake his hand.
I want the ball in his hands on Sunday.
I don't
all
want the ball
game
in
long.
Zeke's hand.
I want it in his hands. Sometimes I want it in and out of Zeke's hands and hold on to it and take off stage left.
Come on, Grady. Tank. What is it? Tank McKinley. Come on, Tank. Grady Jarrett. Big B, it's time for you to show up, bro.
Boy, you're going to be rooting like crazy.
I am.
You're going to have a bad Monday if they.
Deion Jones coming back, that thumper from LSU.
Yep, he's a thumper. Yep. Okay. I give up on this one, but I'm not giving up on the East.
You got a case to do?
Yeah, we got lots of cases to do on this one.
East is
we got 3 versus 3. You got Philly for 3 cases. I got Dallas for 3. That's what you told me.
Yeah, in the division, in the play,
in the division.
Y'all not winning the division.
No, not on this game.
Oh, you don't want that on this game?
Heck no.
Well, I want like 10 cases against New Orleans.
Do you? Oh, that's big of you. Go out on the limb.
You at home.
Yeah.
You say you love them at home. They don't
see how I feel going into that game. Just give me time.
I think you'll feel nauseous.
Do we ever share the cases, by the way?
Well, I'm only up 11, so. And do you think I'll ever get paid?
Cases?
Do you think I'll
you
get paid?
You got paid last year.
I got paid, like 3 months into the show.
Yeah.
I got paid in December of 2016.
Skip, I gave you like 14 cases.
I know, but now it's back to 11.
You guys are having some Draymond Durant beef right now. Do the Eagles have any shot at upsetting the Saints on Sunday? We'll discuss that one next.
No mercy.
The Saints are a big 8-point favorite at home against the Eagles Sunday on Fox. New Orleans has won 8 straight, and Drew Brees is an MVP candidate with 21 touchdown passes and only 1 interception. Carson Wentz and the Eagles are desperate for a win, sitting at 4-5 this season. So, Shannon, can you make a case for Wentz and the Eagles to win?
I'm going to do the best job I possibly can of making the case.
All right.
They need to play as close to a perfect game team-wise as they possibly can. Let me give you a couple of things they need to do. WP needs to be aggressive, Skip. He's going to have to steal a possession. Maybe on 4th down, go for it. Maybe fake a field goal. Maybe onside kick. He's going to have to do something to give his offense an extra possession to keep Drew Brees from getting back on the field. Also, defense, you got to play better than what you've ever played this year. I don't think their defense is not even close to what they were last year, Skip. They used to be able to stop the run. They don't do that nearly as well. They used to be able to get after your quarterback consistently. They don't do that as well as they did. But the number one thing they did last year that they don't do this year is take the ball away. And the one thing the Saints don't do is they don't give it away. Hence, Drew Brees only has 1 interception this year. So can they play a perfect ball? Because I don't even worry about a walk it to him. Because I know walking to him going to do what he do.
Who is walking to him?
Carson Wentz.
Oh, Carson
You know
Wentz.
who it is, Skip Bayless. He's the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Well, that's debatable.
It ain't who you debating.
Yeah.
You must be debating you and Hazel debating.
Wait till the end of the year. Just wait.
The Eagles are going to, man, time of possession is going to be huge for their offense because you got to keep New Orleans offense up the field. If you give the Saints crack after crack at you, Drew Brees will crack the code. He'll put the ball in the end zone, and they'll run away. Because they're a different animal. They're a very good team. And what they've shown this year, they're a very good team on the road. But they're a different animal in that building. Man, that crowd gets electric. They start rocking, and they start playing that music.
Yep. So Walker Toombs going to hand it to LeGarrette Blount. No, he's gone. Hand it to Jay Ajayi. No, he's gone. Wendell Smallwood? You got a small chance with Smallwood, right?
I told you. I'm telling you what they need to do in order to, cover the spread.
Okay.
I just think it's going to happen.
Cover the spread? What about winning the football game? No?
We're just talking spread?
Hold on, Skip. Every time, you know what? And for the last, Jamie, you weren't here. But for the last month, I picked against the New Orleans Saints. And he would always start his argument. So let me get this straight. The guy that picked the New Orleans Saints
to win the NFC
and to win the Super Bowl is picking against them. I was like,
they're going to lose at Baltimore. No, I said they're going to win.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose at Minnesota, said the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I said, nope, they're going to win at Minnesota.
So now I picked my team that I said will be the representative for the NFC. I'm picking them to win. And now you're like, well, what about Wentz? What about your boy walking to him? Or what about old limping to him? Say, nah, I can't.
Limp it to him. Yeah, limp it.
Skip, they got to play a perfect game, and the Eagles haven't been as good as I thought they would be this year. But I don't know if they can play that type of a ball game, especially with the way. Now, they might catch Saints feeling good about themselves, pat themselves on the back.
They might.
Won 8 straight. Drew Brees is playing unbelievable. But if they play perfect, they have a chance. But I don't know if they can get that done.
So, Jamie, this is the same man who earlier this week just popped out this thought, just came out of left field and went out of the right side of his mouth.
What'd I say?
Walker to him just might throw 3 or 4 tubs and upset the Saints in New Orleans. You said that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did say
I
that.
did.
And now you have walked that way back on Walker to him.
He
right?
might throw 3 or 4 tubs, but Drew Brees might throw 4 or 5
Oh,
tubs.
one of those deals.
Yeah.
And then maybe just 2 days ago, my man Shannon Sharpe said, they'll cover easily in this game. So it's going to be close. What is it, like 8 now? Okay, 8 points. So, not anymore. You're off the cover.
They lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah. Okay.
The Cowboys are some.
So what's your score? 42-7?
Nah. You know what? I'm going to say the final score be 30. I'm going to say 38-27.
27. You're giving Walker to him 27 points? That's pretty good. Well, I must tell you, my score is in your ballpark because I already wrote mine down, 35-24. And the reason I'm going to give Walk It to him 24 is because New Orleans is still tied for 23rd in points allowed.
Yeah.
And they make plays. They will take the ball away from you, and they'll make sort of key moment plays. But in the big picture, they're going to give up some
They give them a lot of yards.
Because on opening day in this same stadium in which this game is going to be played, this dome, they gave up 48 points to Fitzmagic.
Yes.
And that was the shocker of the year as we look back on it, because it was 48-40 Tampa over New Orleans, and that's the last loss.
Well, you know what, Skip? This might be the shock of the year, given the way Philly has been playing and the way New Orleans is playing. If they go down there and they upset them, I don't think, no, I mean, think about 8 points. You're talking about when was the last time the defending champ and they bring their starting quarterback back has been a dog by 8 points?
Well, the problem is the Super Bowl MVP and the MVP of the
Man,
last
stop!
year. Well, he's holding a clipboard. I got to tell you, no one seems to bite on this, but
No, because-
Nick Foles played the two greatest playoff games back-to-back I've ever seen any quarterback play, in tandem, both games, NFC Championship game in Philly and the Super Bowl up in Minnesota. Those were extraordinary performances by that quarterback, and he's watching right now.
Good. Let me ask you a question. If Nick Foles is the quarterback, what do you think the spread is?
Probably 5.
Well,
They'd be a better team. They'd have a better record than this. They're, 4-5?
Skip.
4? The defending champs are 4-5?
Nick Foles, although he had a great moment, he's not a better quarterback than Carson Wentz.
I think he's a better operator of the offense than Carson Wentz. That's what I think.
That's what I'm like, Jamie. I'm like,
And you know what? He's more mobile in his own way because he runs the read option or the read pass option better than Wentz does.
No, Wentz is better than
Wentz has lost some of his mobility. I told you the other day going into the game, what I tell you about the Cowboy game, he's lost his ability to hurt you with his legs.
What?
His rush yards are down by 100 yards from this point
I mean,
last year.
what did you expect?
Well,
I mean, you see, the thing what has happened is that Adrian Peterson has skewed it for everybody. Oh, you have ACL surgery, you come back better than ever. No, it's normally the year after.
Yeah.
Not the year you have the surgery, but the year after. It's the following year. Now watch next year. He'll be back running the ball like he was before he hurt that knee.
Okay, but this is this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
And the Saints, and that guy right there.
And we have dissension in the Philly ranks very predictably because we got the Pro Bowl center Jason Kelce, who last week ripped my Cowboys for their tradition and their bandwagon fans. Remember that, Jason
Yes.
Kelce?
What did he say now?
Now he's saying we're missing accountability because we've lost a lot of veteran leaders and LeGarrette Blount, Matt Collins, Torrey Smith,
Skip.
Brent Selleck.
Is he a veteran?
The last time I checked, they got a whole bunch of veterans.
Yeah,
But he's
exactly.
saying we've lost veteran accountability. We've lost the intangibles we had last year.
Man, stop
I don't
making
know.
excuses.
Well, what happens to the Eagles is you got Lane Johnson blasting the Patriot tradition that they're robots and they don't have any fun. And now I'm wondering if the Eagles are having any fun at 4-5.
Nah, ain't no fun losing.
Yeah.
And you got him talking about the Cowboys. What difference does it if people on the Cowboys, for whatever reason they're on the Cowboys, you play for the Eagles. You actually think I care what other fans and how they treated their team? You think I cared about that, Skip? That was the last thing on my mind. I'm worried about us in that locker room.
Well, it appears that the Eagles are worried about a lot of things
That's
they
the
shouldn't
problem.
be worried about.
Therein lies the problem.
I would agree.
They don't get it because Fletcher Clark said at the beginning of the season,
Yep.
nobody's giving us respect. Who cares?
Yep.
Go get that trophy. Then you don't have no choice but to get respect.
So I'm only worried about 2 football games on Sunday because I'm not really worried about the Cowboy game, but the ones that I need to win my bet against you and lose your bet to me, I need the Eagles to lose soundly at New Orleans. I don't need any tightrope walks. I just need the game to be pretty easily won by the Saints. And I need the Texans to win at Washington. That's huge. That's my swing game for the whole NFC East. Texans, go Deshaun Watson. I need it. They're 3-point
Why do you
favorites.
want someone to do your dirty work?
Well, because they put themselves in this position. They need lots of help.
The Cowboys play the Eagles again. The Cowboys play the Washington again.
Yep.
So let them handle their own work.
Well,
don't let somebody do your dirty work for you.
I'm going to remind you, you made the bet, which I thought was a foolish bet, on, I believe, Monday. You said that you will put 3 more cases on Philly to win the East. And I'm going to remind you that after this game at New Orleans, they do get the Giants, but then they have to play the Redskins, go to Dallas, to Los Angeles to play the Rams, the Texans, and then go to the Washington Redskins.
Why are you glazing over the Giants like that? Like that's an automatic
Oh, yeah,
win?
that's your team. I forgot.
Well, they are.
Well, you know what? Odell did predict they're going to win their last 8, right? 8 in a row, and they won 1 in a row. So.
Really?
Giants taking the NFC.
Well, I mean, they got another quarterback. Something. I mean,
I don't know. He looked like a world beater in the fourth quarter at San Francisco, right?
All this talk about the Eagles, though, I'm just so impressed with how the Saints look this year. I didn't see that coming.
I did.
Well, we both did. We both picked.
Of course you
Yeah,
guys
because you didn't want me to get ahead of you.
I did not. I had no idea who you were going to pick.
Guys, does Aaron Rodgers deserve any of the blame for the Packers' loss last night? We'll discuss it. Not with these two, but they'll be here. Rob Parker coming up next.
No mercy.
Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were trying to keep their playoff hopes alive in Seattle last night. Rodgers threw a long touchdown pass in the first quarter that put Green Bay up 14-3. Seattle came back, and Russell Wilson gave the Seahawks the lead in the fourth quarter. On the Packers' next drive, Rodgers couldn't convert on third down, so Mike McCarthy decided to punt, and Green Bay never got the ball back. The loss dropped the Packers to 0-5 on the road this season. Take a listen to an unhappy Rodgers after the game.
Aaron, is there any hope left for this season?
Come on, Rob. What kind of question is that?
I don't know. I mean,
Come on, man.
can't win on the road. What are you going to be able to do?
I don't even know how to answer that, Rob. I mean, come on, what am I supposed to say? Of course there's hope. Of course we believe in each other. You know, just got to take one galvanizing moment. So whether that's a speech or practice or something happens in the game, something's got to get this thing going. I thought we had moments tonight where that was the way we were going. You know, the defense, a lot of injuries. Offensively, we lost Jimmy, but guys battled. So, I mean, nobody gave up hope. You know, we just didn't play well enough when we had to play well enough.
Ugh, brutal post game. Rob Parker joining us now.
We know that wasn't Rob
That was
Parker
Rob.
asking those questions, because you would never ask that question of that man,
No,
right?
no, because there's always hope.
But he's all asked some questions before, Rob.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Shannon, I know, because Shannon used to love him
Yeah.
when I used to ask during the Ron Marinelli days with the line.
Yeah, he was asking questions of my defensive coordinator when he was the head coach. Yeah.
How much is he to blame for the loss last night?
I get it. People always expect great things from Aaron Rodgers, so I always think that if he can't win, he's going to take some of the blame. But here, to be honest, it's got to be Mike McCarthy. This has to be Mike McCarthy's last year in Green Bay, period. He's been there a long time. I know they won a Super Bowl, but I'm done with Mike McCarthy.
Done.
Skip, here's the problem with yesterday. You can't allow the Seahawks to get the ball back because they rushed for 173 yards on 35 carries, which is almost 5 yards a carry.
They hadn't yet, but they're on the way.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So here you go. You get 4th and 2. You're on the road. Let Aaron Rodgers run out and run for a first down, even if he doesn't
Let
throw
him
the
run
ball.
for
I'm
first
just
down?
saying. You know
I
what I
haven't
mean?
seen that happening.
Well, I want the ball in his hand.
I want him and the game to be over because Aaron couldn't convert on 4th and 2, not to give the ball back and have the defense trying to stop the run game, which they haven't been able to do. So that's the problem. I mean, he had a fine game, 21 for 30, 332 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He got sacked 5 times. And I know the defense is much better this year for them. But in this game, you got to look at the game and go, we're not stopping the run. We can't give Seattle the ball back. The game's going to be over. Cannot. Unable to. You have to let him try to get that 4th down. So Mike McCarthy's to blame. 100%, I'm giving it on Mike.
You want to go? Go ahead.
You tell me.
I know you want to go. Go ahead.
So, once again, the quote-unquote GOAT, Aaron Rodgers, needs, like LeBron James, a scapegoat. And the scapegoat is going to be Mike McCarthy. And some of the points you make are valid, although I'm not sure that on 4th and 2 with 4:20 left in the game from your own 33, I'm not sure any other head coach is going to go for that, especially after what had happened on 3rd down, because on 3rd and 2, Aaron Rodgers, to quote him, threw it in the dirt to Valdez-Scantling.
Skip, I tell you who did do it. You remember in Indy? It was 4th
Bill
and 1.
Belichick.
It was 4th and 1.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't stop the guy. If I give him the ball back, he can't.
He said, I got the right guy to make this play. Well, that's what happened.
No, he couldn't stop
Is it
him.
possible Mike McCarthy has lost some trust and faith in his quarterback?
But Skip,
his quarterback ranks 21st in QBR this year. He's having, by his standards, a miserable year.
What does he have, like 19 touchdowns and 1 pick?
Yeah, that's what he got.
Yeah. So
19 and 1
So,
is a
Rob
miserable
Parker,
year?
I'm going to tell you, last night reminded me once again that Aaron Rodgers is like Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossibles. And I've seen every one of them, and I was just fine with all of them. But he'll make 2 or 3 stunt throws a game, just like Tom Cruise will pull off 2 or 3 stunts where you'll say, wow, how did he do that? Nobody in the history of the world could make that throw except Aaron Rodgers. And then you walk out of the movie, and you're kind of mildly disappointed, like, it wasn't that good. And it kind of leaves you flat because he's been leaving you flat a lot of times this year. He hasn't won a road game. He's 0-5 on the road. He's, by the way, in his career, 1-4 in Seattle now, and they're 4-5-1. And why did that happen in the second half, Rob?
Is that fair for to say he's 1-4 in Seattle when the bad refs, the replacement refs, jobbed him out of one game right?
Golden Tate fail Mary.
Right? Yeah. And the other one was the onside kick in that playoff game where the tight end botched it, Bostic or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Took the ball away from Jordy Nelson.
One of the better pro football columnists in the country is Bob McGinn, who was then working for the Milwaukee Sentinel, Journal Sentinel, He wrote a scathing column about Aaron's performance that day in Seattle in the NFC Championship game. And he said, with the Super Bowl on the line, Aaron Rodgers could not deliver. And I don't have time to read the rest of the column, but he ripped him apart.
And you know what I noticed about him, Rob Parker, old Skip Bayless? Mm-hmm. He never mentions reporters and columnists and journalists by name. But this one, because he wrote a scathing criticism, this Bob McGinn, one of the better ones in the country. You know what, Skip, you need to stop.
So, last night in the second half, this is Aaron Rodgers' performance. They go punt, 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 field goal, which should have been a touchdown, and punt. 5 possessions, 3 points in the second half. And he is the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, and according to this man, I think according to both of you, he is the greatest thrower of the football in the history of football.
I've never seen a guy better.
Okay, so if you give him the ball 5 times, and more important, if you give him the football with 5:08 left, down 3, 1st and 10 at his 25, isn't that Aaron Rodgers time? Isn't that GOAT time?
That's why you go for it on 4
And guess what happens?
Absolutely.
Guess what happens? Nothing happens. He throws incomplete to Equanimous, then he hits Valdez-Scantling for 8, but on 3rd and 2, this is money time. All the chips are on the table against Russell Wilson, who's really good at home and really good in the clutch. Better in the clutch to me than Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers throws it in the dirt. And that's the football game because his coach can't trust that we're going to go for it with 4:08 left. I'm sorry, 4:20 left.
Skip, how do you not go for it when you have one timeout? You can't stop the clock. That's the game. He conceded the game.
Hindsight. 20/20
no,
hindsight.
It's not. I knew that was a first
So
guess.
Seattle gets the ball back and they run the ball and they go 5 yards, 8 yards first down, 4 yards, 7 yards first down, and the game's over.
No, exactly.
But it wasn't like they went for 40 and 30 yards.
They had 2 first downs.
They 4 plays and the ball game's over.
Yep. Well.
Okay, let's just say, okay.
Maybe the defense was a little deflated because the GOAT he went,
You know what's
got to go
bad.
So
I've never heard of that.
Let me ask you
I'm trying to do his GOAT.
Let me ask you this, Rob. So is it Aaron Rodgers' fault that they didn't challenge that incomplete pass?
Everybody's watching that. Why in the world would you not challenge? Skip the replay, everybody in the booth. It's an incomplete pass.
I will give you that. So it would have been 2nd and 10, Russell Wilson at his 50-yard line. You going to stop him? I don't know.
That's a big play in the game.
Let me get this right. So let me get this right. They couldn't stop him at the 50-yard line, but you were going to stop him with 1 timeout and a 2-minute warning with 4:20. I'm confused, Skip.
Why are you confused?
Because
Russell Wilson, he's throwing the ball at this point. They're not just
so
trying
why
to
give it back
run
to
the
him?
Clock out.
Why give it back to him?
Well, they're just going to run it 4 times.
Exactly.
You can't stop the run?
No, they can't. They proved they couldn't stop the run last night.
If you don't mind me asking, the number 1 rush team in all of football, Seattle. They had 152 at that point.
You know what?
They averaged
This is
152
total
a game.
20/20 hindsight. I promise you, wherever you were watching the game, and I know where you were watching the game, you did not throw a fit about.
Yes, I did.
You did not.
I said to myself, why in the world would you give the ball back?
You did not.
4th and 2 wasn't 4th and 10.
4:20 left.
So.
You thought you'd get the ball back.
I didn't
thought the GOAT was going to pull it off
at all. I knew they weren't going to get the ball
I said that's why you go for it on 4th down.
So Aaron
You
Rodgers.
don't trust Aaron Rodgers. You got to Skip.
That's
You
a
got
bigger problem.
Skip. You do realize you got a top 5 quarterback. Well, okay, forget he's the GOAT or whatever. You will agree he's a top 5 quarterback currently, correct?
He hasn't played like a top 5 quarterback this year.
We're talking about.
I'm
just
talking
his
about
whole career.
21st in QBR. Okay, for his career, I'll give you top 5.
Okay.
But I'll give you a coach who might be losing some faith because they're 0-5 on the road, and these. I don't know. They lost at Washington. They lost to your Lions.
Yeah, but don't forget, Ben Crosby missed, that's what I'm calling him.
Yeah.
Because he missed 5 field goals in that game.
No, he's Mason Crossbar. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, but hold on, Skip. I can assure you, if he's lost confidence in Aaron Rodgers, what do you think Aaron Rodgers has lost in him?
Absolutely.
He's gone.
I agree.
Aaron
But
Rodgers
it's too late,
rules
though.
that
He done mucked up Aaron Rodgers the last 8 years.
That's true. I'm glad you pointed out to our viewers. It's been 9 years since Aaron Rodgers played in and won his only Super Bowl.
Because he kept
9 years?
He kept Dom Capers around far too long when the defense was insufficient.
Really?
I put that at the feet of Mike McCarthy.
Horrendous defense, giving up 40 points, 3 times in the postseason?
So Aaron Rodgers has won 5 playoff games since that Super Bowl, and he's lost 6. Well, the GOAT doesn't go 5-6 in the postseason. If you're that guy, if you're Tom Brady, you don't do that. And don't tell me Tom Brady's had better receivers than Aaron Rodgers because Devontae Adams is a top 10 receiver. He just is.
He is now.
And Jimmy Graham is better than Gronk is right now.
Jimmy Graham got hurt.
He got hurt, but he wasn't up for a while. He left
in the first quarter.
I don't think it was the first
Yeah.
quarter. He made one
But
big
Brady
catch
was
for
the GOAT
13
in the
yards.
Super Bowl.
Yeah?
He was, because remember he fumbled that
No,
ball
he's the
away.
GOAT.
That GOAT.
Yeah. You mean the guy who's won 5 Super Bowls in 8 tries, and Aaron Rodgers is 1 for 1?
1-0.
5-6.
But that's what you tell me. You tell me that 6-0.
Okay, but think about what he's done in the postseason. Aaron Rodgers, nobody wants to face this head on. He beat Joe Webb, the immortal Joe Webb, who's a receiver playing quarterback for the Vikings. He beat Kirk Cousins. I have little to no respect for Kirk Cousins. Forgive me for that, but that's not a big deal. And then he won the Dez Bryant catch game because it was a catch and it should have been Dallas winning that game. Well, it was.
No.
And then he beat the Giants after Odell went on the boat trip, right?
But what does the boat trip have to do with what happened on the
They
field?
weren't ready to play because on the first 3rd down, Odell gets hit right in the breadbasket and drops it. He wasn't ready to play.
You know what Skip does?
Okay.
Skip will blame Aaron Rodgers.
Okay,
And
but
he
wait a
was-
second. Then Aaron Rodgers steals a game at Jerry World because Mason Crossbar makes the 2 craziest field goals I've ever seen from 56 and
Skip,
51.
Using your logic here, when I talk about Brady being the luckiest of all time, I give you all the same scenarios where John Casey kicks the ball out of bounds in that Super Bowl.
What we going to do about Adam Vinatieri making all these kicks in the Super Bowl?
Adam Vinatieri is Tom Brady's bread and butter.
What are we going to do about Tom Brady throwing for 124 yards in the 4th quarter against the Legion of Boom and throwing for 2 touchdowns? What are we going to do with Tom Brady throwing for 246 yards in the 4th quarter and overtime to bring them back from 28-3 down against Atlanta in the Super Bowl?
The same thing we're going to do about Coach Belichick defense not giving up a point in the 4th quarter and overtime.
Okay. What are we going to do with Tom Brady down 20-10 to Saxonville at home in the AFC Championship game last year? What are we going to do?
And also, Jacksonville's coach was the same thing. Okay. They played way too conservative instead of trying to win the game.
Brady threw for 138 yards against that defense, the number 1 defense in pro football in the 4th quarter.
And Coach Belichick's defense gave up 3 points in the 4th quarter.
Exactly.
And by the way, Tom Brady had 12 stitches in the palm of his
You said you weren't going to bring that up again, Skip. No. You promised that's a case of do. Because I told you every time you bring it up, we were not bringing up injuries. You talking about he's out there.
That was a PS. I just
ain't no PS. No, it was some BS. That's what it was.
Oh, I think it was the truth.
No,
did it happen?
He did it at home. Talking about he cut his hair. I'm like, hold on.
Okay, you can have. I'll give you that. But 12 stitches in the palm of your throwing hand is 12 stitches.
Don't lie.
What are we going to do when we have to wrap this segment and move on? I'm not talking about Tom Brady right now. Rob, you're coming back later in the show.
Yes, can't wait.
Thank you.
To rip the Cowboys. Oh, sorry, did I say that?
Will the Draymond and Durant feud ruin the Warriors? We'll discuss that with Chris Broussard next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. More of the Undisputed podcast is on the way, but first, I wanted to talk to you about one of our sponsors. If you're like me, you know that navigating the stock market can be daunting. Fortunately, there's Robinhood. Robinhood is an app that makes buying and selling stocks, options, cryptos, and more simple and intuitive. with data presented in an easy-to-digest way, Robinhood is a non-intimidating method for stock market newcomers to invest with confidence. And here's the best part. Not only is Robinhood easy to use, it's all commission-free. That's right, no commission fees. Other brokerages can charge you up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood allows you to trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Even better, Robinhood is giving Undisputed listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Just sign up at undisputed.robinhood.com. That's undisputed.robinhood.com to start investing today. Now, back to the show.
No mercy.
Draymond Green was back in the Warriors lineup last night against the Rockets after being suspended earlier this week. Early in the game, he found Kevin Durant for an easy dunk, but after that, it was all Rockets. The Warriors got blown out and KD scored 20 points, but Draymond had 0. Steve Kerr said the team is banged up, quote, physically and spiritually. Here's KD and Draymond on the aftermath of their dramatic week.
We didn't play our best game. It happens. If those emotions are what caused us to lose, then it's my bad, but we're not panicking or think like, oh man, we're not a great team. We're still the best team in the league, and we're going to win more games and a bunch of games and go win another championship, and we'll be fine.
How do you characterize how things are with you and Draymond?
Don't ask me about that again.
We're joined now.
He dealt with that.
Yeah, he sure did. He shut it down real fast. We're bringing in FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. What do you think about this beef between these two guys? Do you think it's going to affect this team moving forward?
Well, we're talking about this year. Because past this year, KD's gone. Period, the end. He's gone. And it's beyond, we know before this even happened, he was most likely leaving.
Correct.
It was just a matter of when. And it's beyond even what Draymond said in this whole argument. There also is this, and it was similar to LeBron when he was his last year in Miami. It's tough to be somewhere where they feel like they saved you. Mm-hmm. He knows in Golden State, they feel like we saved you. They don't have to say it. They've joked about it, but you wouldn't have these rings if it wasn't for us. And he's saying, I played a pretty big role in those rings too.
Yeah.
And so that's the underlying feeling of KD also wanting to leave on top of some of these other issues. As far as this season, they have two major things going for them. One, they're obviously just a great team. I mean, that this may not even be able to derail them. And both these guys, KD and Draymond, are entirely committed to winning another ring. Draymond's legacy is winning. His legacy is not like Steph's or KD's or LeBron's where it's going to be great individual numbers and play. It's championships. Right. And he already knows he may have cost them one. So he's totally all in. That's my legacy, being a winner. KD wants 3 rings in 3 years. That's a heck of an achievement. That's better than when LeBron went to Miami and got 2 and 4. So he wants that. The second thing they have going for him, it's November. You have 4, 5, 6 months to work this out. And we know it's true. It's a cliche, but time heals all wounds. So look, with the things Draymond said to KD, I don't think their relationship will ever be the same. I don't think it'll ever be the same. And even if they can never really be real friends again, they've got 5 months to learn how to play as business partners, where it's no longer we real cool and we're personal. They have 5 months. This is the one red flag for this season. With Golden State, their strength has always been their chemistry, their camaraderie, their atmosphere. That's one of the things that attracted KD to that. No egos. They have fun. They're playing music during practice. That's one of the things that attracted them. And remember, before KD got there, their motto was strength in numbers. If these two don't get it together personally, how will they react as a team? Not just those two, but Steph, Clay, the whole dynamic. Will it be changed from this fun atmosphere? And can they thrive when it's more of let's just get this championship, let's just take care of business. So I think they'll work it out. I feel strongly about that, but that's a red flag that I see.
I think I've always felt there's an 85% chance that Kevin Durant was going to leave. I think this was probably the nail in the coffin to assure that was going to happen. I'm not so sure, given how they treated him. I mean, he's appealing the suspension, Skip, $120,000 that he lost. But I don't know how Draymond stays.
That's interesting.
I don't know how Draymond stays.
Yeah.
After knowing.
Well, they've got a long time
Right.
to work it out with him.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, he's got the extra
This
year.
is why I went out of my way not to get into a yelling match or a confrontation with a teammate, because it becomes very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable, Skip. And I know you're like, okay, this is for the betterment of the team, but nah, bro, you made it personal. Because you brought things in here, you might think, and we think a lot of things. Right. You can't prove that I'm thinking this. But once you say it, Draymond just did all of a sudden in this moment, Skip, oh yeah, by the way, I've always made plays. Oh, by the way, da-da-da, we won without you. That didn't just happen at that moment. He'd been thinking about that, and he wanted a way to say it. KD just gave him a way to say it by saying, bro, give me the ball. Game 3 of the first finals, y'all ain't have no problem giving me the ball. Game 3 of last year in the finals, you ain't have. Steph and Clay couldn't buy a shot. Draymond, you couldn't buy a shot. I kept us close, and then I won it at the end. Ain't nobody have a problem with you passing me the ball. Now I ask for the ball, and you go, I was making plays before you got here. KD gone. KD not forgetting this. I agree. I believe they can put it past him. I believe outside of an injury, no one is beating this team 4 times in 2 weeks. But this never good. Their relationship will never be the same. And like I said, he was going to leave, but it'd be very, very interesting because I think Kevin Durant makes them unbeatable in the finals. Without KD, they're beatable. Because I believe had they not had KD the first time around, Cleveland would have got him. And Cleveland would have got him again last year. You know that, I know that.
I don't know that.
I know that.
But I'm not going to completely discount that.
Okay, let's say with Kyrie, with Kevin Love, if KD is not there, the first year KD left, they're not beating Cleveland. That's why they went and got KD.
So, this is all why, to me, the guy who should be gone right now is Draymond Green. He's expendable in this equation. I know he does a lot of little valuable glue things for this team. I'm going to remind everybody again, DeMarcus Cousins is on ice for January. I assume he's going to be okay, but I don't know how okay he's going to be. He is a 7-footer who can pass the basketball and rebound the basketball, so he could fill a lot of the boxes. He could check a lot of the boxes that Draymond often checks.
And score if need be.
He can really score if need be. And I could argue they'd be at least as good with him, if not better. So to me, you said period, end of story that Kevin is gone. I don't know that for a fact because I don't think Kevin at this moment knows that for a fact. He's as sensitive or oversensitive a superstar as I've ever sort of been around or heard about
Right.
or tried to follow.
He knew it as 2 days ago.
Knew what?
He leaving.
Maybe, but depending on what happens with Draymond and how all this sorts itself out, and then depending on the outcome at the end of the year, I'm not sure he's leaving if Draymond is cleared from the decks. And if, again, could they trade him sooner than later? I think they could.
Trade Draymond.
Yeah, because he's becoming more trouble than he's worth.
Here's the thing with trading Draymond. And one, I don't think they'll even think about that. But Draymond, as great as he is on the Warriors, most teams know
they don't view him like that.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not the guy that's going to go somewhere and be the man.
Right.
It's the system, it's the teammates. He's perfect for that team and with all the baggage. So now I've got a Draymond Green who's not as good as he was on the Warriors, not as valuable. And then I still have to deal with him going off and blowing up and all that stuff.
Steph and Clay can handle that. Steph, because they used to it.
I do not believe it can be fixed between Kevin and Draymond. I believe the bridge is burned completely to the ground to where can they achieve, remember, Steph's not there, so let's see how Steph can come in and help mediate this a little bit, but can Kevin and Draymond achieve some sort of uneasy truce or barely peaceful coexistence, like you're suggesting the rest of the way? Maybe, but let them lose 2 in a row. Let Kevin have a bad shooting night. I know too much about him. It will bubble back to the surface and it will boil over because now Yahoo is reporting that the exchange on the bench went Draymond telling Kevin, we don't need you. We won without you. Leave.
Whoa.
Okay? But that's
Yeah,
where
that's deep. Hey,
that's
Chris,
where-
that's deep.
But you know that's where it was
You
heading.
daring him.
Yeah, okay.
You're daring
him. And that's beyond calling him multiple times the B word, which for me, man to man, that's just a bridge. That's game over. Like you can't take it back. You can't get over it.
But the thing is that like and Kevin Durant's brother says, is like in the motion, I can't remember verbatim what he said. He said true colors are revealed.
True colors.
The moment KD accepted his call, the moment KD decided to come to Golden State, what did you think Draymond thought of you?
Right.
That's
So
what
you
everybody...
think he was even as I'm going to benefit from your presence, I don't respect it.
Because everybody said, what person you know, Skip, they beat, you had them 3-1. You had them down. The dude calls you.
How many times have you told the story? He's in the parking lot. And you say he's near tears calling Kevin Durant. So he's the first.
Well, and here's the thing. Think about what you said. It's been there in Draymond. This didn't just. As wrong as KD was, I believe, for going off on Draymond, because Draymond can make plays,
right.
and it wasn't worth all that.
Right.
That also wasn't worth what Draymond said to KD. Like, just that made you go off in that regard? So here's where I disagree with you, Skip. And I disagree that they should trade Draymond. I have my reservations about, I don't think Boogie could do what Draymond does. We know he wouldn't do it defensively.
Right.
We know he wouldn't do it defensively. And that's huge for the Warriors because they don't have, rim protectors and all that stuff.
The only thing he is he's 7 feet tall.
He is 7 feet tall. And I just think offensively, too, look, he's a great individual player. But Draymond does the little things, moves that ball quickly. DeMarcus doesn't do that. DeMarcus doesn't run the floor. Draymond is in large part their point guard. DeMarcus is not. DeMarcus might want to be that, but that's not going to be good for them if he's bringing the ball up and stuff like that. So
Draymond doesn't need the ball. Draymond doesn't care if he scores 2 points or 0 points. Boogie.
Well, he cared one night in Oklahoma City at halftime on a Saturday night game. Remember that when he went totally.
Well, Steve Kerr was upset because he kept launching threes. Steve Kerr said, I don't mind you shooting the ball. Just stop shooting 25-foot three-pointers.
Challenging everybody in the locker room, especially the head coach, to a fight at halftime. Remember?
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about this a little later. We got to play for you, KD. We respect you. We have the utmost respect for you, KD.
I think this
you
is
good people,
troubled.
KD.
Listen, what we saw last night, and I realize it's only mid-November, that was a troubled basketball team. That was a team that was drained of its energy and its emotion. And Kevin was drained, and they had a little exchange late in the game, or it was actually early in the third quarter. But actually, Kevin was nicely chiding Draymond for a double dribble that was a similar play to bring the ball up, against the Clippers.
Here's the thing, and I don't know what Draymond said to KD privately, but in his public statement, which was solid, he didn't apologize.
He did not.
No.
I mean, he basically said, I am who I am.
Right.
And my thing is, Chris, you can look. We've had emotional. I ain't got no problem. You can be emotional, but bro, how you talk to someone, you can't talk to that. See, KD, you being nice.
He should have. If he really, the best thing for him to do. Now, if he didn't mean it, I respect. If you don't want to say it, don't say it. But if he had come out, look, man. We need KD. We all know we need KD.
Right.
I get it. I was just emotional. I was upset. He had gone at me. We need Kevin Durant as much as we need anybody on this team. He is a great, that's what he should have said.
He said no one man's bigger than this team.
And he said if anybody leaves, Clay, KD, whoever, so be it. That's their choice.
Hey, and the thing is, for me, the way I handle any situation now, I get into this disagreement. I say before I say something or you say something that we're going to regret, let's just go ahead and end it. Let's just go ahead and stop it. Because I know how I am. Because when you get into an argument, you get mad, Skip, what do you do? What's the thing that I can say that can hurt you? He knew that was going to hurt Kate. You call that man a B for coming to join you 73-9. He knew that's going to bother him. Oh, we don't need you, bro. We won before you got here. Why you over there bumping him?
So, Chris, you're saying KD, he gone.
Oh, he's out.
He gone.
KD!
So let's talk about this.
Mama
the
Durant.
Lakers form a super team next year. One former NBA player says, yes, we're going to
You about to be
discuss it.
sick.
I would be sick.
No mercy.
The Lakers already have LeBron, but could they realistically add Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis next season? According to former NBA vet Jarrett Jack, that will happen. Jack tweeted yesterday that the Lakers will add both KD and AD next summer. Durant can be a free agent at the end of the season, while Davis can be a free agent the following year. So Chris Broussard's sticking around for another segment. But first, Shannon. Oh, uh-oh.
What do you got over there?
He's getting ready. He's getting ready.
What'd you spike it with?
You go get real hot. You go get real hot. Skip, you be sick.
Are you buying this? Are you buying this?
As much as I would love for this to happen, Skip, I can't see this happening. I can't, and I don't know. And Chris, you and I were talking off the air. This is really not the commissioner's job to prevent things from a team from. Like you said, he loved the idea that KD joined Golden State. He thought it was good for the league. A lot of people started watching. No, you can't do this. Now, we saw in the All-Star game, LeBron, it was the leading vote getter. He got KD and ended up getting AD. So it goes to show you what he thought of those guys. But this would be so unfair. But I would love it so. KD made it abundantly clear. KD is like, I don't care who team it is. I can ball with anybody in the world, anybody, anywhere, anytime. Now, I don't really know Anthony Davis. I don't really know how he thinks or how he feels. Maybe he wants his team. Maybe he just wants to be out of New Orleans and go somewhere. Like, if I'm not going to win, at least I want to be known. I want people to know who I am. He knows if they pair these guys together, come on, man. They're going to win championship.
Wait a second. We're talking about old LeBron now. LeBron being his 17th
He'll be
year.
older.
40.
He could just be the point guard.
How about this here, Skip?
Distribute.
How about this in year 16? 44, 10, 9, 3 blocks
This
on
is
60.
year 17 we're talking about.
Does he look like he's slowing
You know
down?
what? Father Time's going to tap him on the shoulder.
I love
you keep
it.
telling me Tom Brady's getting tapped right now.
But I love how his Father Time go to tap everybody except pliability. Well, maybe he start doing pliability.
Maybe he needs to go visit Tom Brady.
TB12.
I would love to see this happen. I believe they will get one of the Ds, AD or KD. I don't believe they'll get both of those guys.
I do not believe the commissioner would try to veto this, but go ahead.
My turn. Let me say something first about Jarrett Jack, okay? Very respected veteran in the league. Very respected by Kevin Durant. He's from the same area Durant's from. Older player, Durant grew up, looking up to, NBA player, all that. Before Kevin Durant made his decision to go to Golden State, he called Jarrett Jack and started asking him all these questions. He didn't tell him he's going there, but he asked him all these questions about Golden State, the Bay Area, some of the players that may have still been there. And that's when Jarrett thought, before KD announced, he's going to Golden State.
Right.
So that's their relationship.
Right.
That said, I was in communication with Jarrett since these tweets. He said this is not inside information. He hasn't talked to any of these guys. That's just his personal feeling. Okay, now, the players involved. We know it's feasible. This is not like some pie in the sky. Like, financially, it could work. Because KD can go to the Lakers as a free agent. And then if AD demands a trade, says, I'm only going to the Lakers, they could offer, they give up,
all the
Ingram,
kids,
Kuz, right, all of them.
Yeah.
Go.
Agreed.
Okay. Here's the thing with AD. He wants to win a championship, okay? Right now, don't expect any trade demand this year. There's not going to be any disruption this year. He's not going to demand a trade. But if they have a poor season, which right now they are, then he could begin looking elsewhere. The Lakers would certainly be on the list, but there's other places. Boston, because
have the most
they
assets.
They got all types of assets. And again, he wants to win. That's a place you could really cement a legacy, right? He would be open to New York if they get someone else, like a Kyrie. We talked about Kyrie and Durant going to New York. It could possibly be Kyrie and AD. I'm just saying there are other scenarios, too, for AD, but the Lakers would also be on the table. KD to the Lakers. I've said, people have told me KD's always wanted to compete against LeBron and beat him, and that's true. But the Lakers' pitch would be this. It's not a one-on-one matchup. This is not you against LeBron. You've beaten LeBron twice, and LeBron is still viewed as the first or second best player by most people of all time. Like, this hasn't damaged LeBron's legacy. In fact, most people still think LeBron's the best player in the world, even though you've beaten him twice. So, KD, it's past that. This is a beyond that. And they would say also,
don't look at this as I'm following LeBron, I'm joining LeBron. When you join the Lakers, you're joining Magic, Kareem
joined them.
Shaq,
Will
Kobe.
James.
And look at when
Shaq
we saw LeBron just become the 5th leading scorer of all time. 5 of the top 6 have been Lakers. I mean, this is all part of the pitch. Now, the one thing KD's gonna have to get past is what other people think. Because we've said it before. The perception, you jumped on a bandwagon in Golden State. Oh, now you're going to play with LeBron. You're jumping on a bandwagon there. That's the one thing that would be the biggest thing for him to get past.
Have you ever heard of carpooling? If your kids go to my school, why should I drive my car if you going? Can you take my kids?
He got past that to go to Golden State.
Well, did he?
Right. And down 3-1 to boot. So I'm just saying that, but that would be the main obstacle for KD.
Old Skip Bayless would come to L.A. I say, I'm joking on the first thing smoking going to L.A.
You did.
Hey, man, I don't care what they say.
You made a great choice, too.
Skip, you've been too quiet.
No, I haven't. I've been listening. I've been absorbing all this because I do think I'm going to put some stock in this because I also know Jarrett Jack, and I respect him.
Right.
And I knew him from the old show. We had him on a number of times, and I spent a lot of time around him. He has been around this league. He's been on 8 different teams, and he played with Anthony in New Orleans briefly, but he knows him that way. And as you say, he's like a big brother to Kevin because they're from the same neighborhood. So even though he's well-traveled around the league, and unfortunately now at age 35, he's still waiting for his next job offer. And I don't know if he'll get it or not. I hope he does. And there was some part of me that when he tweeted this thought, oh, he's trying to remind everybody, hey, remember me? I don't have a job right now, just to sort of say, hey, just a little quick attention. And it got explosive attention. But I do think there's some
merit.
There's some, I'm just putting stock in it because Kevin Durant's a weird dude, man. And I like him and I love him as a player, but he's just weird because he's as oversensitive, thin-skinned a superstar as we've ever seen. He just lives on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. He's responding to Joe Blow in Des Moines. He really takes that to heart.
Right.
Yet he was willing to say, I'm going to go join forces with that team.
Yes.
You're going to do that? Seriously? Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I don't care because I'm in my 10th year and I want a ring. Right. Well, he just got 2, but he got 2 finals MVPs. And I told you, he won me over in the first finals with the Warriors because that was hard, man. He had the weight of the NBA world on his shoulders. He had 95% of the NBA world wanted him to fall on his face in that finals. And instead, he shot it right in LeBron's face. He shot the shot of shots. He dribbled it up the floor and pulled up on LeBron, and boom, that was it. Finals MVP. And twice in a row, in a Game 3 in the King's Palace in Cleveland, Kevin took the game over.
Yep.
That's why I said, well, that's the best player on the planet to me. We could go back and forth on that. But again, he does weird things because he's going to almost do what he shouldn't do, like go completely against the grain and then live up to it. So would he join LeBron here? Does he love L.A.? I think he still has 2 houses here, right?
Yeah. And
I think AD got a place here, too.
I'm not sure about AD, but KD obviously.
Oh, he'd get one.
LA. Yeah.
All right. So do the Lakers, I know the Celtics have, you can argue, more assets, but the Lakers got a lot of assets because I love all these kids. I love them all. Seriously, they're growing on me. I still love Lonzo. You guys maybe not quite as much, but still, if you offered Lonzo and Brandon Ingram and Kuzma, let's just start with those 3. Would they do that for AD?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Well, you might have to, and they're probably throwing another pick.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think with New Orleans.
We're not trading Lance.
Dale Demps is their GM. We know he's out of the San Antonio system, right? And they refuse to trade Kawhi to the Western Conference. So that would be what he would try to do. I think a big thing with New Orleans would be if Kawhi leaves Toronto, that could send other teams a message like, look, it worked for Paul George in Oklahoma City. But for the most part, in most cases, this is not worth the gamble.
Right.
Because the guy's just going to leave. And so maybe that keeps teams from making great offers that can rival what the Lakers could offer. But
I don't know.
Right. Lakers could give up a ton.
It'd be something.
That'd be a lot. And LeBron, he could just play point guard on that team.
Because then they'd have
He
the
could really
best
be
player in the
magical
world
in
and
that-
the second
in that
best player
role.
in the
And
world
the
in
third
LeBron.
best.
Maybe the first
Don't
three.
do that, Skip. Yeah, why you? Hold on. Now, I let you slide earlier.
He's old.
No, I let you slide
He's
earlier
old.
when you said KD was the best player in the world. Yeah. You and I both know KD is not the best player in the world. He's the second best.
He is the best player in the world.
LeBron's
going to have these blips occasionally, these 44s, because he's old. He'll kind of rejuvenate.
Skip, the man averaging 27 points a night. You talking about a blip.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this to that, Skip. KD, as great as he is, he does not control a game like LeBron. And when Steph's not there, KD plays like LeBron. You know, he's bringing the ball up. It's kind of all going through him. And they don't have
Don't
that much,
judge it
as
by
much
last
success.
night because
No, not
last
just
night
last.
was troubled, man.
Not
It
just
was
last.
icy,
I agree.
awkward.
I agree. I'm just talking about that's why they almost lost to Houston last year because KD was going ISO and all that. They got away from their system.
Remember when Steph got hurt last year? They missed those games.
I can give you a lot of other stats where he just took games over.
Yeah, I can give you a lot of stats about Cleveland right now. How they the worst team in the NBA. I can give you those stats. You want those?
Kevin
No,
Love is
no
out.
more time for those stats. No more time. By the way,
You're his champion now, right?
Clippers have the ability to sign
You know what?
Max
The Clippers
players
are
next
pretty
year,
good, too.
So
I'm
just saying. I'm
said,
putting it out there.
If Kevin went there by himself, forget bringing Kawhi. Obviously, they'd be greater with Kawhi. But if he went there by himself, they'd be a contender. That's a good
and
team.
then he doesn't
I'll
have
give
to
you that.
deal with the people on Twitter saying, "Oh, you just
No,
want to go
that's
LeBron.
true.
You're going to go win more rings."
That's where it's going to be. What's most
Chris,
important.
always good to see you. Thanks
be
for
here.
joining us.
Clippers ain't got no history.
Do the Cowboys have any shot at winning the
Here we go.
NFC East?
Yep.
We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Well, let's talk about the NFC East. The Cowboys, Redskins, and Eagles will all be underdogs on Sunday. Dallas kept their playoff hopes alive with a big win in Philadelphia last week, which got them to 4-5. Now they'll be a road underdog again versus the Falcons. Rob Parker joining us again here in the studio. Rob, the Cowboys, can they win the division?
I'm sure they can. Excuse me, but do I think they will? No. I still don't trust Dak Prescott.
More Dak hate. I love it.
I just
Dak,
don't,
are
Shannon.
you
You know what
listening?
I'm saying,
Are you
right?
watching?
I just don't. I really don't. And I know I still believe that Philly has a chance to come back and win that division. Their schedule is a little tougher.
I'd say.
It's tougher than Dallas's, but they have the better quarterback who's playing better. And I just think that they
Did
can.
you watch last Sunday night at Philadelphia?
I understand they had a bad
But
one.
the season has been 9-10 games, not just one, Skip Bayless.
And Skip, for real, the Cowboys still have to play the Saints. There's a game there.
At
but
home.
But I think if you look at Philadelphia, don't they have they have 2 more games against Washington? They haven't played Washington yet.
Is that a good thing or a
And,
bad
the
thing?
Giants. And they got the Giants.
And they got the Giants. That's
That's an
another
easy
one.
win.
And they got Dallas. They can beat Dallas.
Yes.
All right, they did lose the one game, but they can go to Dallas and win. I don't trust the Cowboys. I know people are making a flip-flop because they won the game in Philadelphia. Because had they lost, the season would have been over.
Yeah.
So I get the hope, but it's false hope. Into believing that the team that one day Troy Aikman was saying should be blown up and changed all over. Now they're going to win the division. I'm not buying that.
No.
Those warts are still there. Pull the skin back, Shannon.
Yeah.
They're still there.
That's a disgusting analogy.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
it is.
But it's true.
What shot do I give the Cowboys to win the division? 0. None.
Zero shot?
None.
You better be right because you bet 6 cases of duel.
Yep. The next 12 days, they got the Atlanta on Sunday, Washington at home on Thanksgiving,
Win.
and then they got New Orleans at home.
Loss.
A week. So
Keep going.
the question is, does the clapping game plan, does it translate over basically over 2 weeks?
Coach Clapp?
Yeah.
Coach Clapp?
Jason Garrett.
Nah, I do not believe so, Skip.
Who called a fake punt on 4th and 2 from his own 31
Jerry?
the other night? No, not Jerry.
Well-
Jason did. Jason Garrett.
Yeah, I know. Jerry told him to. But anyway, when the last time they won back-to-back games this year? Skip?
None.
Oh, when's the last time they scored 20 points in back-to-back games, Skip?
Zilch.
27th in total offense, 28th in pass offense.
Keep going.
If you don't mind me asking, what's Dak Prescott's QBR? You love QBR.
Not good.
No, I don't need no.
What is it? Give us a
not
number,
good is
Skip.
not a number. And so,
I don't
Wait a
follow
minute.
it.
When he had
don't
Aaron
follow.
Rodgers' QBR a little
yeah.
while ago.
21st in the league.
See?
Rob, here's what Skip will never ever tell you. Since the start of last season, Dak Prescott is tied with Deshaun Kaiser, Jameis Winston, and Derek Carr with 10 multi-turnover games. Your guy.
What was his record through the first half of last year?
Your guy.
5-3. What was his QBR? Second in the league.
Start of last season. And you like to use the word sample size. You like to use the word body of work. That's a large body of work, Skip. That's a large sample size.
That's more than a season and a half.
Wait, since Carson Wentz came into this league, he has the most fumbles, tied for the most fumbles in the National Football League over that span. Really?
And he got
you like that?
And he took his team to the Super Bowl.
He did not take his team. Nick Foles took the team to the Super Bowl.
He had a team out that had lost one game.
And he was the MVP. Tom Brady won it by default. By default, you know.
You guys are in so much trouble. You're going to have to eat so much crow. You're going to have to suffer so much humiliation sitting in those seats.
Well, it'll be over once you lose on Sunday.
No, it will not be. It will not be over with. It'll just be getting started.
Over.
My Cowboys are going to win the NFC East by default. I will give you that. If you want to say they're going to back in, you can have back in, but they are going to win it. And if you win this division, that means you get to go to the playoffs. It's a done deal. It goes along with the prize. You get a playoff spot, right? So my Cowboys are going to win me that bet of 3 cases of Diet Dew because they're going to go to the playoffs. And you're going to lose the other bet that you recently made, which is that Philly is going to win the NFC East for 3 more cases. Yep. So I'm going to be up 6 more cases. I'm up 11 now, but all I have to do is just run down the schedules. Philadelphia has a hellacious hard closing schedule. I feel sorry for them, and they're already a dissension-racked football team.
There ain't no dissension.
So they're going to New Orleans, and they're going to lose in New Orleans according to the Hall of Famers. So
you picked them to lose, too.
Okay, well, I'm just going off you. You're in the Hall of Fame. I'm not.
I think that could be an upset.
Okay.
That might be to start the engine. Right? The Saints have won all those games in a row. It's time.
Do you want a dinner on
yes.
this one? Seriously?
Let's go.
Why would I do this to you? I got to save you from yourself.
Mr. C's. Come on, let's
Seriously?
do it.
You just lost
Mr.
one.
C's is good.
Okay, I'll do it if you'll do it. Okay, straight up, I got New Orleans.
They got to have a starting point, Shannon. I'm serious.
Why is
you got to have an end point.
No, there's a starting point. And if they win that game, remember the Saints have won, 8 in a row?
Yes.
What?
We saw the Rams have won 8 in a row before they lost. It's time.
Okay,
they're going to lose
so
again.
now that I glanced down the rest of Philly's schedule, after they lose at New Orleans, they do get your Giants, which should be a gift at home, but you never know about those Giants. So then they got Redskins. They got to go to the Cowboys. They're going to lose at the Cowboys. They have to go to the Rams. They got Deshaun and the Texans. And then they have to go to Washington in the year. Okay, you can say all the wins you want, but they're going to finish 8-8. I got them at 8-8. And listen to the Redskins. Again, they got a
No love for the Redskins at this table.
Okay, they're 2 games up right now. They got a commanding.
And nobody's picking them.
Nobody's picking them. Are you believing this? But they got the Texans at home, and I need this one badly. This is my swing game for the whole division. Deshaun has to go into Washington and beat Chuck down Alex. Then they go to Dallas on Thanksgiving. They're going to lose that game. They have to go to Philadelphia. I think they'll lose that game. They get a Giants game, a gift. And then they have to go to Jacksonville, go to Tennessee, and finish with the Eagles. They're going to finish 8-8. Those 2 teams will finish 8-8. And remember, my Cowboys have the easiest closing schedule. I think you agreed with that.
No, it is an easy schedule, but wouldn't you love to see them go to Dallas and win that, right? Is it at Dallas?
Okay, but just
That's
remember,
the game.
the last 3 for Dallas. At Indy, again, resurgence by Andrew Luck, maybe the comeback player of the year. Not easy, but winnable. Then Tampa at home, and then at the Giants. Could the Giants be the spoiler in all this? They could be.
All I'm saying
I don't think
this.
so.
If the Cowboys win this division, hey, Healy, how much PTO I got? No.
What?
Yeah, I need PTO.
What's PTO?
Paid time off. Because the Cowboys win, I ain't coming in.
Well, you already took 1 day, right?
In 2.5 years.
I know, you took 1 day. And look,
we don't take days off.
Hey, and then he sent me a text. Is everything okay? Dude, I got 1 day. I took 1 day.
Well, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's weak.
I don't know.
This joker here.
This joker.
1 day, 2.5.
This joker's going to win 6 more cases.
I took 1 day.
You know, Skip,
Cowboys.
all the years we worked together, I don't remember Skip ever taking a day off.
No.
I got to knock on wood right now.
God,
no, but I'm just.
He can't go home because Ernestine locked the door once he leaves. The door don't unlock until 9.
That is true. My Cowboys are going to win the NFC.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not,
I
Skip.
got this.
No.
We'll find
This
out
is
in a
going to
few
be a
weeks.
beautiful
Eagles,
thing.
I can't wait for my Mr. C's.
You know what, Skip?
The Redskins are taking the division. I'll say it.
After Washington beat them on Thanksgiving, it'll be over for you. So I'll get my case.
Then I'm going to take a day off.
All right. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Invite me to Mr. C's.
Yes.
I'd like to go. Why did Luke Walton compare LeBron to Shaq?
Dominant.
Yeah.
No mercy.
All right, let's get to the Lakers. LeBron is averaging nearly 8 trips to the free throw line a night this season, and he had a season-high 15 free throw attempts during Wednesday's win. That led Luke Walton to compare LeBron to Shaq. Take a listen.
He takes a beating out there. He really does. He takes a beating every time he drives, or you have to put hands on him. You have to put elbows into him because of his size and strength. And, you know, he could probably, if you looked at video, he could probably shoot 100 free throws a game if you know, everything was called. But that's just, you know, it's the same when I played with Shaq. And Shaq used to get fouled a lot and not get free throws. But he does a great job of playing through that either way and making plays.
He has a point.
100 free throws a game?
Well, Skip, man, that's an exaggeration. Now, you know what he's talking about. See, why you do that?
Well, he had me until he went to 100.
Exactly.
Like,
but he probably, in other words, Luke is saying he could probably shoot anywhere between 5 to 8, maybe 10 more free throws a game. And he's absolutely correct, because the thing is with Skip, the difference is, like, Shaq was so big, guys would get fouled, and Shaq would still dunk the ball or lay the ball up, and the guy went flying. So how is that a foul on him when he's in the first row of the stands? It's the same thing with LeBron. He's such a locomotive. 6'9", 262 pounds.
Yeah. So, you know now, 62?
Diesel, too.
Because he let you know he weighed last night, 262.
Diesel.
Yeah.
And so the officials, you're looking at it like, well, okay, if you got fouled, why is the guy laying on the floor? But in the rule book, it doesn't say anything. The foul's going to be called based on a guy's size. Did you make contact? Did you interfere with his ability to lay the ball up or to make a shot or to get to where he was trying to go? So I don't like all that, Skip Bayless. I don't like it. Call the foul, because he should be shooting more free throws than James Harden. I know for sure. Maybe not Joel Embiid, because he's another big guy that he's shooting a bunch of free throws. But this is unacceptable. LeBron James shouldn't be shooting this many free throws like he shot the other night on a nightly basis.
So now he's Bron Diesel, is that what we're calling
it? Yeah, sometimes.
Bron Diesel. So I have long agreed with you there is some Shaq syndrome operating here, because he is so big and so quick and so powerful and so explosive that some refs just say, you don't need a call.
Yeah.
Like, you just
play through that.
Just do it. Just do it, because they can't stop you anyway, right? I will point out to you, just on statistics alone, he averaged last year in Cleveland 6.5 free throws a game.
Lowest.
Okay, but he's up to 7.6 this year, which is the 6th most in the league. Should he be the 2nd or 3rd most? Embiid's 10.7, LeBron 7.6. And then it goes James Harden at 8.9, Anthony Davis at 8.5, and I don't know how Kevin Love got on here, but he's at 8.3.
Thank you.
And then Giannis is at 8.0.
Thank you.
LeBron is 6. So should he be, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd? I could give you that.
Yeah.
But there's one thing operating here that did not operate with Shaquille O'Neal. LeBron does whine after he doesn't get the call, and he over-whines. And he whined so much the other night that Nurkic, of all people, the guy that LeBron body-bagged in Portland last year, he came back to life. I don't know how. He's got 9 lives, right? He's on his, 8th life playing LeBron.
Yeah, we get it.
And what did he do at the end of the game? He's doing the whiny baby thing to LeBron, because LeBron's on the floor like he got shot, right?
Did.
Huh?
Let's give you something, man. Whack him upside the head.
But again, there's something operating here where refs finally say, just give me a break.
Oh, so
right?
just for my clarification, because I didn't watch every single game, but I watched a bunch of them. Michael Jordan never complained about fouls?
Not much.
Skip, yes, he did.
No, he didn't. Not like this. He didn't do whiny baby stuff. He didn't lay on the floor like, I got to go to the hospital.
Yeah, he didn't lay on the floor like Skip. The man snatched him out the sky.
But LeBron does whine. And he does, it's like...
He said he wants to be treated
beneath
fair.
his dignity to whine like that. Let Luke get technical.
Okay, here's the thing. And granted, maybe back then the guys didn't complain as much because the way the game was officiated, you knew you were going to get hatcheted. You knew you were going to get the elbow, Skip.
God, when Michael had to play against the bad boy Pistons, You want to talk about uncalled fouls? They just played football.
You remember Mailman hard foul Isaiah and put 44 stitches over his eye?
He did.
So,
okay, but that was the game.
Right.
So nobody whined and complained because you weren't going to get them anyway.
Well, you started, so they shouldn't have started. They went this way. They opened the game up because they wanted to see more scoring. That's why you see every game, the average between the two teams is probably like 215 points per game now. That's where they wanted it to go, maybe even more. So LeBron is saying, if this is the game that we're playing, I want to be officiated properly.
Okay, and I do respect and admire Luke for taking that stand on LeBron's behalf, because we all know that the quote-unquote GOAT, in this case, is going to need a scapegoat pretty soon if it doesn't go right.
Skip.
And Luke's going to be on the hot seat. He's already on the hot seat.
Look at them shoulders.
So he's
I can see why they
Luke is trying to win back some of LeBron's support.
He got LeBron say he called him Coach Walton. He said Coach Luke put a great game plan in. We was able to execute the game plan.
Did he say that?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, well, and by the way, Luke was going a little Phil here, because Phil was just a master at planting psychological seeds like we need more foul
But there
calls.
was an and one where Nurkic fouled him, raked him across his elbow, Skip, and you saw that. It should have been an and one,
Nurkic?
not a play on. Yes.
I don't remember Nurkic fouling.
I do.
McCollum grabbed him.
No, McCollum the one that snatched him up. But I'm saying, no, the and one, but they didn't give it to him. He just laid it up, and Nurkic fouled it.
Yeah.
It was a foul.
I don't know how Nurkic got it. He came back like out of the grave. He came back. He got body back.
That was last year. Skip. Last year he was able to make a recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back. That was in March when we body bagged him. So he had April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, he got.
Yeah.
Time to resurrect.
You know what? That was
All
showing
right,
no respect for LeBron to
With
do
that was
this at
amazing.
Staples.
That's amazing.
At Staples?
Skip.
Really?
Gutsy.
You
By
Are
the
you
way,
offended?
the guy that
No.
might be the first pick in the NFL draft threw
Ooh.
a tantrum
Listen.
last night. We'll show it to you next.
No, I'm not.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Houston defensive lineman Ed Oliver might be the #1 pick in the NFL draft, but last night he got into it with his head coach, Major Applewhite. Oliver was not playing in the game, and Applewhite asked him to take off his jacket on the sideline, which apparently is a team rule. Oliver then yelled at his coach as they walked to the locker room for halftime. So, Shannon, let me ask you, if you were an NFL team, how would you feel about this?
It doesn't bother me. I just want to know, can he get to the quarterback? Like, can he put the quarterback on his back? That's what I need. That's what I'm getting you for, not to wear a jacket. For me, Skip, I think both guys are at fault here, Skip, because what is think about it. And people are like, it's only 50 degrees. 50 degrees in Texas is something entirely different than 50 degrees in New York.
That is true.
So if I'm on the sidelines, you expect me to stand out on the ball in 50-degree weather in Houston with no jacket? It was right for him not to come back out in the second half. Major Applewhite, what you do is you have your strength and conditioning coach. You have somebody else handle that.
Don't show him up.
No, you go take the jacket.
He's trying to pull his jacket off.
See?
What?
See, hey, Jamie, now we give him that two-piece.
Ooh,
Whoop, whoop.
you wouldn't do that.
Nah, I was like, bro, get your hands up. Well, see, first of all, Skip, I'm not giving my jacket up. If you want me out here to stand in this cold, I'm going to be comfortable.
And by the way, that's the 4th game he's missed.
Yes.
And they said he was on the field before the game running and catching. He doesn't catch footballs for a living, obviously, but he was just having fun, like he was ready to go, capable of playing. This is the one kid, when I watch TV, and I don't watch coach's tape, but he leaps off my screen because he has huge ability. He has fallen some on Mel Kiper's board because he doesn't always live up to his play and play hard. But I'm seeing this with a Nick Bosa who just shut it down because he's done enough to rank #1 on Mel's board. I'm seeing Rashawn Gary at Michigan. He's come back now, but he's not playing as hard because I think they're waiting for the draft. So it's the new deal where you just don't give your all.
Well, guess what, Skip? You might see a situation what you saw with Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette where they missed the bowl game.
For sure.
These guys said, I'm about to shut it down for the entire season.
The entire season.
Yeah.
There's only risk,
Not a good
no
look on the
reward.
sideline.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports. One of one.